Is this thing on? Did I manage not to break everything today? Because that would be pretty exciting if I did. It would be a first. Rob, exploitation reviews. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to stick you my European viewers with these late night things. It just works out that way. How is everybody tonight? Oh my goodness. I can't half this stuff didn't work today, so I've been like struggling with it for hours. Like an idiot, I went like, "Oh, I you know what I should do? I should live stream today." And then I came in here and basically nothing worked. So I've spent the last few hours going like, "Ooh, I probably should have not announced this before I made sure it worked." So Andrew, I don't know. I'm trying to break everything. Like last time I live streamed, we didn't have sound. We had like an echo. We had all kinds of crazy stuff going on. I think I'm past the 15-second mark, so I'm probably allowed to swear now. So that's good, right? So how is everyone tonight? I've not been live streaming lately. So like all this stuff broke while I was like while it sits here. It's like a Ferrari you leave in your garage for the winter. Like it just stops, like it just breaks randomly. So the magnificent beard is back. We're looking a little long. I probably need a trim. Lots to talk about tonight, guys. I have some announcements. I have some exciting stuff to share, but we'll let everybody kind of filter in and hang out and say hello. And hi, Allison. Hi, Pineapple Locks. Uh, Renee. Well, I appreciate that. Like, I'm not really a horror fan, but Mike's humor cracks me up. This is like one of those things I love to hear, only because like horror is sort of a niche thing, and so like if I can bring people in who don't generally watch a lot of horror stuff and they stay because it's funny, and then I get you to check some of it out, it's like sneaking in for the win for me. So Matt Harney, how you doing, man? Carl Keeling, good to see you. How you been? Oh my goodness, you guys with the chat. I'm staying on top of the chat tonight. I'm trying. Mike expanding. I don't know what that means. Am I getting fatter? I'm trying to lose weight. So it's like looking into a mirror, only not. Yes. Matt Florin, thank you so much for the super chat. Can't make the stream, but hope it's a good one. Hell yeah. Well, thank you. I'm sorry you can't make it, but you can catch it on the replay. There's some announcements in here you might be interested in. So you can check that out tomorrow if you have time, or whenever, because it'll be up whenever you want to see it. Generally, I don't make the live streams sort of public. I put them in a playlist on the channel so you can go back and find them. But this one I will probably actually leave public, just because it has some stuff in it that people probably want to know. So I have not seen Skinnamarink, whatever the hell it's called. I have not seen that yet. Actually, I almost watched it last night, and then I went like, do I really want to do this? And the answer was like, not really. Not because I have any problem with not wanting to watch it, although it's very divisive. I hear people like, I've had people who tell me they love it, and then I have people who tell me they hate it. So I'm sort of curious to see where I'm going to land on that one eventually. Does the stream look and sound okay? Can everyone let me know that real quick? Give me a hell yeah if it looks good. Yes, good. Thank you. So yeah, I have not, so like this is the funny thing. I come on and do these things, and everybody asks me if I've seen all these new movies, and I haven't, because I spend all my time watching old stuff for Sick Flicks, because we don't have time to cover new things, and they're hard to cover and all that. So thank you for the hell yes. That's great. I'm glad it looks good and sounds good. I legitimately was worried this was not going to work today. Any good Valentine's advice? Matt Harney says, thinking about the 8 Immortals for barbecue pork buns. I hear they're to die for, Matt, and thank you for the super chat. I hear they're excellent pork buns. Anthony Wong is a top-notch chef, and they've got like a secret ingredient in those things, and man, to die for. Terrifier 2, no. I bought it. It's sitting on my stack of stuff to watch. That one I actually want to watch. I have not seen that yet, so I've not seen In Search of Darkness 3 yet either. So I'm always bummed. Like, so the funny thing about In Search of Darkness for me is Andrew Hawkins, like he came to me, and he's a friend of mine, and has come to find the show and has talked to me a few times, and we did a little bit, like I was going to promo it and stuff like that. And I'm always bummed they didn't ask me to be in it. Like, not because I have a huge ego, although I do, but just because like, I'm like, oh man, you guys are talking about all this stuff I know so much about. Why do you not want me to be in this? So yeah, but I have not seen it yet, but I love them. I would just love them more if I was in them. So Orchid carpet cleaning. I'm glad you made it. Glad you caught the live. I don't do this often because, as I've said in the past, it makes me a little nervous, stressed out a little bit because there's so much chat that I can't keep up with it. And I always feel like I'm failing people when I miss their chats. So I'm trying to get over that. Like the chat moves too fast for me to keep up with it, and it's just it stresses me out a little bit. So Annabelle, thank you. You're a beast of knowledge. Well, I like to think I am. What cult B movie classic needs a restoration or special edition to you? Well, for starters, I think Lady Terminator needs a Blu-ray. So that one for sure. It's funny you mentioned this because I was just thinking about this, like doing a video about movies that I think that need to get on Blu-ray or that we need a remaster or an updating of. And the one I always come back to every time is Spider Labyrinth, which is a weird little Italian film, sort of Lovecraftian. Hardly anyone's ever seen it. It looks terrible. All the prints, like there's a print, friends of mine have uploaded a print of it to YouTube, and it's like a decent looking one, but it's not a great print. There are no great prints that anyone floating around, I guess. But yeah, so that one's the one. Like I love that one, and I would love to see that kind of get the special treatment. So that's my answer for that one. Yeah, older sick flicks showed a lot more gore. Yes, YouTube censorship does suck. So like I've told that story before. Like, so when I started out, it was a little easier because I was small and I was like way under the radar. Basically, and YouTube was like, until 2021, YouTube was fairly lax on this stuff. Like you could get age gated, you could get demonetized, but they let a lot more stuff through. And then in 2021, like after there was that whole COPPA thing with the kids and all that, and then like everything just went nuts. And since then I can't show shit. So it's a legit bummer. But yes, they were gorier back then. Part of that was because like they were not punishing me every week for being gory. And then part of it was because they were more laid back then. I don't know what happened to YouTube. They used to be cool, but they're not anymore. I love it here, but they drive me nuts. Eve Krista Suber. Hell yeah. That's just for you. Thank you for the super chat. I don't do it as well as Danny. Mark, thank you for the super chat. Glad to be here and not a football practice. Well, don't oversleep and miss it. I hate when that happens. So, exploitation reviews. I have a meeting with a director tomorrow about a screenplay I wrote. Holy crap, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll cover it. Sure. I'll cover anything, man. Anything you do. If it's splattery and it's, exploitation-y, I'm in. So sorry. So what else have we got going on? So I have a couple announcements tonight. I'm going to space them out a little bit. The first announcement I'm going to give you right now, because we've got like 230 people here and I don't want to make you wait forever. So, the first announcement, big one. If you have wanted to see me somewhere in public, your first opportunity of 2023 is coming. I will be a guest at the Atlanta Comic-Con from March 24th through the 26th, in Atlanta, Georgia, obviously, hence Atlanta Comic-Con. It wouldn't make sense to have it in like Columbus, I guess. I will be there. I will be, I'll have a little table with some stuff you can buy if you want or not, or you can just come by and say hello, hang out, take a picture, say hell yeah to me, whatever you want to do, as long as it's nice. Don't punch me. I will be there. I will be doing that. I will also be doing a panel for myself where I will talk about some of the horrors of being a horror YouTuber, which is just what you guys get here every time I go live. And I will also be moderating a panel with the Crow creator, James O'Barr. So if you are anywhere near Atlanta and you want to come out and hang out, come by and see me. I will be there, and I will post momentarily. I have a link if you do want to come for 15% off your ticket. And, if you go to these cons, like sometimes it's not, the cheapest thing to get a ticket. And so you get 15% off if you use my code Horror Geek, and I'm going to put it in the chat for you. And hang on, let me type that out for you. Whoops. Type right. That should be there, I hope. Yep, there you go. And I think I can pin that. Can I pin it? I don't know. So yeah, so that's the code. And you will also get you can get 15% off whatever ticket you buy. So if you want to buy the VIP pass and like bypass lines and get special photo ops with people, not me because I'm not that big a deal. You can get a photo op with me whenever you want. Like there's probably no line at my booth, but come on by and say hi. But you can get the 15% off whenever, whatever ticket package you buy. And so if you want to come and hang out and say hi, great. If not, that's okay. Baz, if you want to design some merch, drop me an email. So I'm always open to that. So I don't know why I can't pin that comment. Let me see if I can pin that so we don't lose it. So I don't have to keep typing it a million times. Where did it go? See, I was not really prepared. I fooled you all. Oh, nope, I did. I got it pinned. There you go. So that's the first thing. I've got another announcement, a big announcement coming at the end of the stream. Hang on, I'm going to text here. I'm probably missing something. So yes, it is February. Did I say March? I don't know. It's at the end of February. It's the end of this month, 24th through the 26th. So we are good for that. Dude, hit the email on the channel page because Facebook, I get so many messages, not because I'm like trying to be like I'm so important that I get so many messages, but I get so many messages on Facebook that I can't keep up with them all. And I lose them. And sometimes they go into that stupid filter. Like it's like, oh, we don't know if you want this message. So we're going to put it here, but we're not going to tell you it's there. And so then I occasionally wander in there like once every 6 years. And it's like, oh, hey, somebody wanted to offer me money 6 years ago. Probably don't want to give me money anymore though. So yes, you can, Ross, they are not up yet. That may have something to do with the announcement at the end of the stream. I don't know. Maybe. So yeah, so that's our first big announcement. So if you're not going to be in Atlanta, don't sweat it. It's all good. Oh shit, what did I just close here? Hang on, I'm trying to get all my stuff back here and I'm messing everything up like usual. Why is that doing that? Oh, that's why, because I'm an idiot. Come on back. I lost that thing. Oh my God. So anyway, oh, there's one. See if I do this way, maybe I can get it back. No. Where did it go? Huh. Oh, no, that's not it either. I don't know. I'll find it in a second. Anyway, so if you wanted to, man, what a disaster this stream is. God, we've been here 5 minutes. I'm already ruining it. So yeah, if you want to see me, you can obviously come see me in Atlanta, but that will not be my only appearance this year. And yes, please do hit the like button. That helps. Yeah, it will not be my only appearance. There are some others already lined up for this year. Yes, I should visit you in Euroland. I set up with a booth in my son's room. That's probably going to draw a bigger crowd than I'm going to draw in Atlanta. I don't know about Texas Frightmare. I can't talk about any of the things yet because nothing, like one of them is locked in. Yeah, worst stream ever, dude. Just fucking disaster. Always a disaster here. So yeah, I will be other places in 2023. So Buck, have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by. What's my best bench press? 365. We're working towards 405 this year. We're got some big goals this year, but I don't know if we're going to get there. Yeah. So, is this that thing? Oh, yeah, that's it. Oh, why did it do that? I don't know what that did. I lost like one of my windows here. I don't know where it went. And it was the important window because it had all the super chats in it. Oh, there it is. I found it. Aha. Got it. And I can text here. Somebody's yelling at me. My co-pilot yells at me if I miss anything. So yes, if I did, I'm sorry if I missed anything. But yeah, we will be at Knoxville. I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know. Like we have like a whole bunch of things on the potential list that they would like me to come to, that the details are just not hammered out yet. So that's why I can't say anything about. But Atlanta is 100% happening. I already have tickets. I'm already booked. I'm already there. That is definitely happening. And then there will be definitely one event this summer, but there will probably be some more in there somewhere else as well. So that was the first big announcement. Am I coming to England? No, not. Well, I don't. I mean, as of this moment, no. That doesn't mean I won't come. If somebody asked me to come and said, "Hey, why don't you come to our convention and we'll put you up in England?" Because I've never been. So, yeah. Jimmy's random content, $5 super chat. Thank you, man. And just wanted to thank you for helping me get through the work days. Hell yeah, Mike. Well, I'm glad I can help, man. So the funny thing is, like, everybody's like, why did you pick Wednesday to post videos? Like, who fucking cares about Wednesday, right? And I'm like, that's exactly the reason why. I couldn't go on Friday because James does a kill count every Friday, and I can't compete with dead meat. That's just not happening. But yeah, Wednesday is like, it's hump day. It's the middle of the week. Everyone's like at work and you're just like in the shit. And you're like, oh man, I need something to get through this day. And I'm like, well, if I can be an idiot for 20 minutes and help you get through Wednesday, that's a win. So that was the point of me picking Wednesday. Odd day, but yes. All right. What did I miss up here? Oh, Mouth, you missed the announcement. Yes, the announcement is pinned at the top. I will be at the Atlanta Comic-Con this month from February 24th through the 26th. And if you use that code, that link up there, you can get your tickets, and you can use the code to save 15%. So have a shot of J&B and chill. Yeah, drunk stream. That's a great idea for me, guys. Let me tell you, that'd be a good time. What about Ireland? Well, there are still Brackens in Ireland. Like, that's the homeland. So yes, I would very much like to go to Ireland, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm that popular yet. I don't know if we're ready to take me global. We're working on national. So one thing at a time. I'm not a good traveler, man. I'm not a big fan of flying, or not because I'm afraid of flying. I just don't like being on planes for hours or in cars for hours. So, excuse me. Sickest movie I've ever seen has been, it's always the same answer. Like, I've seen a lot of sick stuff, but the one, so like I always talked like I was going to do a video on this, and it was just going to be the video that almost made the Horror Geek puke, and it's Slaughter Vomit Dolls. Like, like all that puking is just too much for me. Like, I made it through, but yeah, rough time with that one. That one almost made me sick. So Renee, that's a good point. So funny story. We were indeed going to give out Sick Flicks barf bags at this convention. When we contacted a company about making them, and they're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. But they're like, our minimum order is 180,000. And what the hell am I going to do with 180,000 barf bags? So we're going to have to find a different distributor for that, or we're going to have to make them ourselves. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but the barf bags were 100% an idea. So yeah, Logan, those movies, those Lucifer Valentine movies are rough, man. Like, if you're one of those people who gets squeamish when somebody's puking, it's rough because it's really someone hurling. And so you like, it's not even fake. It's legit. And there are things that happen in that movie. Man, there's one scene, I'm not even going to describe it because they'll demonetize me, but there is like a scene in there that I just like, oh my God, I'm like sick to my stomach while thinking about it. Not really, but it was gross. And like, if you get a gross from me, that's a win, because I am like totally desensitized. Hey Swaggy, good to see you. It's me too. So what else have we got here? You've probably already seen this, but check out the UK horror film Truth or Die. Actually, I have not seen that. Yeah, I have not seen that. I'm gonna have to look for it. Those movies are a no-go for me. Yeah, I get it. They're not safe for life. What's really funny about them is, like, I don't want to get into the whole Lucifer Valentine thing because that's a can of worms. Like, he's had some negative press, and I have known him. Not known him. I've known him online. We have corresponded over the years, and from when he first made the first movie, and he, for a guy who has such an infamous reputation and everything, he was super nice to me. He's always been super polite to me, super friendly, never had a bad time talking to him. But yeah, those movies are rough. Like, and they're rough because not only are they gross, but they're rough because they're so artsy. they're hard to kind of sit through sometimes. Draws would love those movies. Man, I hadn't thought about that in a long time, Chem Dog. That's a trip down memory lane. Yeah, I'm sure he would have. So, what's your favorite zombie film, my Titan? That would absolutely be either Dawn of the Dead or Cemetery Man. And I think most days now I tend to go Cemetery Man only because Dawn of the Dead is like the sort of consensus choice for so many people. And like, I'm like, oh, everybody knows that. And I really love Cemetery Man every bit as much. So I would like to give them, give that film the attention instead of saying Dawn of the Dead because everybody knows it. So it's always sometimes my ulterior motives and things are to like promote films that I like so people will see them. Frankenhooker, yeah, dude, did you not see Hollywood Chainsaw Escorts? The crap I went through over the H word? There's no way. Like they won't let me say the H word, man. I'm probably gonna get demonetized for reading that. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen to that one. My Jim Ross has gotten way better in 2023. Hell yeah. That's good news, man. I work on that every week and I think it never gets better. I just was working on a script today and I wrote a JR joke and I'm like, Jesus, I'm just gonna have to pay JR on Cameo to like do some catchphrases for me that I can drop into videos so I can stop doing this. But yeah. Oh goodness. Thomas Case, thank you for the super chat. What's your favorite horror movie? Always same answer. It's always Jaws. Like Jaws is just one of my favorite movies, period. It was like hugely instrumental. And then Halloween, the original Halloween is like a real close second. And then it gets like it gets complicated as lists do. So I'd love to see you do a one-on-one Abdullah the Butcher match. Are you trying to get me hepatitis? Haven't you heard those Abdullah the Butcher stories, man? I love that guy, but yeah, I wouldn't last 5 minutes with that guy. And I'm pretty strong, but I wouldn't last 5 minutes with Abdullah. Yeah, we need a cameo, hell yeah, from Jim Ross. We need a by God from Jim Ross on this show. So who is the official hell yeah counter? I'm not sure. That position is many of you try to fill that position and I've never picked an official counter. So other than me, and I don't really count. I know we hit 6 in one recently and I'm pretty sure that's the record. Although a couple have had 5 cents because there's no joke I won't run into the ground if people like it. And that one is very popular. So the OG, who's the OG? I love OGs. Olive Garden or Original Gangsters, either or. My God, good old JR, right? Oh, not JPEG. Boy, let me tell you something. Are you like spying on me? Because the script I finished today was for Mosquito. That was one that is absolute. Mosquito is absolutely coming. I don't generally spoil what's coming, but yeah, you nailed that one. So that one is happening sometime in the next couple of months. So we got a lot of stuff coming. I'm one of the things we had to do this year because of YouTube being such a pain about demonetizing things and this new exciting trend of companies trying to block my videos and forcing me to go through this big mess of counterclaims and threats and all this crap. We're actually going through that now with one. We have a 5 barf bag movie that is tied up in a dispute that I will hopefully get back like next week so that we can release it sometime later this month or early next month. But yeah, so since that's been happening where they block them, which is a big headache, we have gotten to the point where I am making videos like way ahead and giving them to Jay. And so he can edit them and then we can put them up and like they're on the page unlisted, obviously. But this way we can find if there are any problems. And if there's a problem, we have like 6 other videos ready to go. So yeah, it's been better that way, but it's unfortunate that we have to like make things so far in advance now because they keep screwing with the videos. So how long have you bearded your beard? I don't know how long I've bearded my beard. I've been growing it for like 5. Well, I think it's about 5 years I've been growing it now. But we did cut like I don't know, it's like 8 inches off a while back. So it just really grows fast. So the beard. Uh, Man, we had a dispute with an Italian company. I've had two with them. Well, I've had many, but like if it's like a company like Medusa, they release them right away. Like if we come to them and say, "Hey, I'm a reviewer. We're doing this on YouTube. It's not a big deal. We're not trying to rip you off." Um, they release them. But we had this company who's like a content management company or something called like Greater Fool Media, who claimed two of them and then wouldn't release the appeals, and then blocked them and gave me strikes, and we had to go to the counterclaim route where it's like, you can either release it or we'll go to court over it. And then they released them, and it's funny because they're an Italian company, but I like they have a website, but you can't ever get in contact with anyone. And then they also like have like a Gmail account that's like Italian movie rights at Gmail, like something like that. So it doesn't really inspire a whole lot of confidence that these are a legit company, which is many times that type of thing. So what are you telling? Hang on, I'm getting a text here. Hang on, just don't interrupt me. So yeah, so we got that one. That's a good one. We got that one coming. We got a lot of stuff coming, man. Like so much stuff. Gunnar Hansen was reportedly super chill. Gunnar seems like the nicest guy ever. And I think it's hilarious that he lists Mosquito as his favorite of his films. like I like Mosquito. It's fun. It's surprisingly gory. But yeah, he's a super nice guy. I wish I'd gotten to meet him. So, hey, Plague Seeds, how you doing? Are we gonna have the Fulci is badly overrated debate tonight? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing Fulci is badly overrated. Fulci is great. He's not Argento, but he doesn't need to be. My Titan, in the background, we've got Hellraiser, Opera, The Beyond, and Army of Darkness back there. So, yeah. And actually, I just want to point this out that somebody's trying to call me on here. I don't know. Stop calling me. I just one of the viewers, guy Garvis Reed, one of our watchers, sent me a very super cool Demons one sheet. So I would I'm not putting that up though, because it's too nice and I'd have to frame it. I don't want to mess it up. Like these ones are just like poster puttied on the wall because, as I've said, this set was supposed to be temporary just to get me started, and what happened was like I never make up my mind, so it's still there. Why does this dude keep calling? Quit calling me. Anyway, so hey, Garvis is here. Garvis, how are you doing? And thank you. I love that poster so much. I look at it every day. I'm like, I'm gonna put it in the frame and put it somewhere in here. Not in the studio. I'm gonna put it in my office, I think. But yeah. What does Lance Henriksen think about all this? Well, you know what he thinks. Jason Albrecht, thank you for the super chat. Do you enjoy watching Best of the Worst on RLM? I do. I don't, but like, here's the thing. Like, I don't get to watch as many YouTube shows as I would like anymore because I spend so much time working on YouTube. But yes, I do like to check in with them. They're like, they're like pioneers in this space. And so I am super, super happy to be following in their footsteps. I'd love to do something with them someday. So Argento is great, but he's no Bruno Mattei. That's right. He's no Fragasso. He's no Mattei. Know your place, Dario. All right, Thomas, thank you for the super chat. Mike, other than deadlifts, what do you do? What don't I do? I'm a weightlifting machine. I deadlift, I squat, I bench, I do log presses. I do all that strongman stuff from time to time, although not as much now because I'm in my home gym, which is very nice, but it's not so much set up for powerlifting or for strongman competition. It's more set up for powerlifting. So we don't, like at my old gym, we had I've never done the caber toss. But I've done like the wheel of pain and all that stuff. So yeah, we've done all the powerlifting stuff, like, except I don't have a caber to toss. I wish I did. Get into some wrestling. Good, as we have a movie coming up with a wrestler as a star. So, and I guarantee none of you will ever guess what it is. So you're welcome to try, but you're not going to get it. Max bench press 365. 365. I was really on the road to 405 like in 2021, and I pulled a pec, and that was it for that. Like I had to take some time off, and now I'm back in the, like, I'm probably maxing out now about 335. So yeah, I've done a Hercules hold. Yeah, I've done that. Absolutely love Red Letter Media. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm glad people rewatch it. People rewatch my stuff too. So I thank you all for that, because it really does help, algorithmically and all that. So the Diplomat, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. You didn't have a question? Gotta ask a question, man. You give me money, you gotta ask a question. So you ever do any of the high? No, I have not. I, we were so the funny story is like, I was going to do Tampa Bay Strongman like 2 years ago, and then COVID hit. And the thing is like, I'm old, and so I get to compete in the Masters division, and I would probably win. I'm probably strong enough to win. So I would like to go just to win. Like the goal this year, and sorry to derail you all into powerlifting chat, like in my horror chat, but one of the goals this year is like the Florida State Masters records are very much within my reach. So I could go beat the records at the like Masters 2 level for deadlift and squat and bench. I need a little bench work, but I could beat deadlift, and I could beat squat. So Mike Nick Best. I would not go that far. Oh my goodness. And Plague Seeds, thank you, man. And yes, please support me. Just like, whatever, thumbs up. It's all good. I'm easy to please. Mike, how Christ time old are you? I am 50. I'm 50 years old, the Diplomat. I turned 50 last October. Someone today, I was on Twitter, and I said someone asked me, and they're like, about lifting, and they're like, you're 50? And I'm like, there's no way you're 50. And I'm like, I know I'm boyishly handsome, but I'm 50. I don't know how I got here either. So crazy. 50. You're still a kid. I'm 53. See, yeah, I'm still relatively young. It's a running joke around here that I'm really old. So I'm not that old. I'm getting there though. Yes, I am class of 91. I did graduate in 91. Yes. 33rd of my class. Only because I didn't care to try. Yeah, 57. I wish I was 30 or 25 again, because yeah, I got a lot of things I would like to rethink. So yeah. You were about to ask for a live cast this morning, and this appeared. Yes. See, it's like magic, man. You just get the magic. That's how it works. You think it and it happens. Disinterested hand job, my favorite username ever. Thank you for the super chat. I'm glad I entertain you, man. This is the thing, like, people, like, sometimes, like when a video does well, it's always a double-edged sword for me. Like this week, Killer Croc 2, like, just absolutely tanked. That video did terrible. Like, and I don't know why, but but sometimes that's a blessing in a way, because like, then it's just my core audience who watches it, and you all are very nice, and you never say nasty things to me or tell me like you hate my voice or my fingernails are too long, or, shave my beard, you dirty biker. Which is funny because I can't even ride a bike, motorcycle. I can ride a regular bike, but yeah. So when the videos do really well, like Not of This Earth or Embrace of the Vampire, then suddenly it's like, oh, you get all these people in who are like jerks. So sometimes it's nice. Like, it's not nice financially when a video doesn't do well, but when it doesn't do well, sometimes it's just nice because I get a break from like the awful comments, which there aren't that many, but they always stick with you. It's like human. Oh yeah, Logan, I get hate comments all the time. Like I said, which is always what cracks me up, because it's always some guy who's like, you're not funny, or this is stupid. And it's like, well, it's supposed to be. You're missing the point. Like, no one is thinking that like this pun is like, the equivalent of Dave Chappelle or, some famous comedian. These are supposed to be stupid. It's like a horror host show like Sven Gulli or Dr. Paul Bear or Chili Billy, so yeah, I don't, I try not to dwell on those things. And one of my things of 2023 was to like stop replying to those things, but I can't help myself. I have to dunk on everybody who says shitty things to me. It's just who I am. And I don't think that's ever going to change because I'm 50 now. So Oscar, shout out from I can't even talk. Shout out from Puerto Rico. Any great Spanish speaking horror classics? Well, yeah, I just, we did, oh God, what's that guy's name? I can't think of his name now. Ruben Galindo, like Don't Panic, and those are classics, man. I love those things, man. They're terrible, but they're great. Yeah, like yeah, Joe Bob, Elvira. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like this, so this is the sort of second announcement. This is not the big announcement. This is just something I'm sharing with you guys because you came to my live stream and I feel like I should give you something special for showing up and supporting me. So, one of the goals for 2023 is to like do more stuff, make more stuff. And so we have new shows coming. Sick Flicks is not going anywhere. Sick Flicks is going to be every Wednesday, just like you expect. And it's going to be just what you expect. But I've talked for a year about doing this show that was a little more serious, where we take a deeper dive into movies without maybe so many jokes. One of the Dead is good. Yeah, that is a good one. The other, what's the other one? Plaga Zombie. Like they're super low budget, but I love them. Like John West, that theme song in that one just cracks me up every time. But anyway, so Deep Cuts is going to happen. It's Jay has the first episode already. He's working on the edit. I've got like 6 of them scripted, so I'm going to record them. And we're going to get them out. But so you're going to get like that every week as well, which will be, like I have some cool stuff there. I hope people like it. I hope people are like, I always worry like the people who hate all the jokes and Sick Flicks and the puns are probably like Deep Cuts. And then I'm like worried that my audience, you guys who I love, who my ride or dies, are going to be like, oh, we don't like it when you don't make a bunch of puns or say hell yeah every 5 minutes. But but I hope you will like it. It's a deeper, think of like all the more bits that are like serious and like tell you something about the film. That's a show of that basically. So we're I'll give you a little teaser. We've got an episode I've talked about before about St. John Smith, which was the movie that never got finished. Roddy Piper's one of his last horror movie he did, one of his last films that never got released. They filmed a bunch of it, and we've got that one. I've got a piece on Videodrome coming. I've got a piece on Event Horizon coming on that show. So yeah, so we've got that. So you're gonna get like more horror geek in your week, which may not be a good thing. I don't know. How much of me do you need, right? Day of the Dead. It's so Daniel. That's interesting because I have never gone back and watched Day of the Dead, that video, because it was so hard to do. Like I struggled with that script so much because like I like it, but I love Dawn a little bit more. And it's also tough because like it's just a tough movie to make funny. Like the hardest ones I've done were like Day of the Dead, Martyrs was like, Jesus. I don't know what I was thinking when I thought, let's do Martyrs. Let's make Martyrs funny. Which is why I've never done Irreversible. But yeah, oh my God, Joe Bob played Necromantic last night. I knew he was playing something because I saw like people reacting, but I didn't know it was that. That's wild to me. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the hard ones. And Day of the Dead was so hard, and I struggled with it so much. And we got to the point where I got it done, and it went out, and people seemed to like it, but it didn't do as well as Dawn did. And I've always had this sneaking suspicion that it wasn't good. And so I've never gone back and rewatched it. So I'm glad someone likes it. It's done okay though. So somebody must like it. Yeah. So Irreversible is the kind of thing I would do on Deep Cuts because I don't have to make it funny. We can talk about why Irreversible and Gaspar Noé films are interesting and amazing. And we can talk about them in like a better way without having to like try to make them so funny. So that's, Yeah, deep cuts is like I think it's gonna be a cool show. Like we're doing them kind of like, short video essay type things. So I hope you like it. And then the yeah, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so we're gonna do that, and then I think we're I don't think I know we're also going to do like a weekly video podcast called B Movie Babylon, which will be just me on camera, like here on a little set, talking about B movies, and those will be a little funnier. So, they will be more off the cuff, like just like, and it's really because I really just wanted to be able to like, I love horror movies, right? But I also love all that crap you find in the video store. I love B movies. Like I love action movies. I love Asian action movies. I love all these weird things, and like they don't fit in sick flicks. So I want to be able to talk about them without like trying to shoehorn them into sick flicks. And so like, yeah, it's a good place. Like, so like as an example, like we could take like the Italian, oh my God, Escape from New York ripoffs or the stuff like that and put them in there and talk about them. And, they won't be quite so heavy with the footage. So hopefully it will be a little easier for me as far as, the copyright claims and shit. Yes, Ozploitation. I have wanted to do a show, the canon, like just covering all the canon movies because I grew up with all that shit and I love it. Like I'm telling you, you guys are gonna get like a deep cuts episode or something, or B Movie Babylon. Yeah, John Woo films. At some point, you're gonna get one that's like Ninja 3: The Domination is the best exorcism movie since The Exorcist, or something insane like that. Revenge of the Ninja, absolutely. Enter the Ninja, all that stuff. American Ninja. So yeah, like I play pretty fast and loose with the rules at this point of sick flicks, and as far as what I do, like we'll slide some stuff in there that isn't necessarily gory or horror because I can just make funny jokes about it and all that. But like at this point, it's like it needs to be its own thing. And I really just want to be free to talk about that. Crazy Chihuahua, Stone Cold is going to be one of the first movies I do on that show. I love Stone Cold. And I have, honest to God, Stone Cold, Ninja 3, Revenge of the Ninja were kind of like the impetus for making this show. like I'm like, how can I cover Hard Ticket to Hawaii? Yeah, how can I cover those Andy Sedaris movies? Like, yes, Stone Cold, Action Jackson. I love all that stuff, and I just want to be able to talk about it without without alien. Stone Cold is the one with Brian Bosworth, where he's a biker, undercover biker, and Lance Henriksen is the bad guy, and it's got like William Forsythe in it. It's just dude. I worked in a movie theater. I was a movie theater manager, and I spent a couple weeks at this theater that got all the B movies, and we got Stone Cold. And my biggest regret is that I did not take the one sheet for that movie, because every night we stayed after and watched Stone Cold private screening. Yeah, Samurai Cop, all that stuff, man. Like so it's just an opportunity for me to talk about those kind of films that I love that aren't necessarily horror, but appeal to you guys, that like more like these weird movies or off the beaten path movies and stuff like that. So Carl, I'm glad I could help you remember Stone Cold. WTF, what the flick? Thank you for the super chat. I am the asylum version of you. I love it. I love it. I love that I have inspired an asylum version of me. Mike, my favorite horror movie is again Jaws. Yeah, I love Jaws. I love Halloween too. Like if you were trying to rope me into a top 3, it's always Jaws, Halloween, and Suspiria, pretty much. So yeah. Trauma movie. Yeah, see, this is the beautiful thing about B Movie Babylon is it can literally be, we could do a horror movie that doesn't fit sick flicks one week. We can do stuff like Hong Kong action. We can do Japanese stuff. We can do all this different stuff. Like there's so much cool stuff out there that I know about that most people haven't seen. And I'm sure some of you have, but a lot of people haven't, that we can, that it just helps me spread the love. Like I am so excited right now because, we're seeing this sort of interesting resurgence where companies like Vinegar Syndrome and 88 Films and Severin are starting to put out all these Hong Kong action movies on Blu-ray. And like, I have loved that stuff my entire adult life. Like when I first saw The Killer and Hard Boiled, and I was in on Hong Kong, and Hong Kong action cinema and horror cinema and stuff like that is just some of my favorite stuff outside of like regular horror. And I'm happy to like help people navigate that space, because there's stuff in there that's like really worth your time, and there's stuff in there that's less worth your time. And I just, like, if I can help you, navigate that space and find the classics, and then say like, okay, this maybe isn't a classic, but you can, this is still good, or you should probably skip this one, so The Diplomat, of course we can. Hang on, let me think how I got to do that. Let me do it right. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters. A little raspy tonight. What's my take on horror films now? It's hard to have a take on them right now, because I don't get to see most of the stuff when it's new, because I'm so busy. Like, I spend so much time watching old stuff, which is cool because that's my favorite stuff. Oh yeah, God of Gamblers is great. That's another. See, like this is another show I could do for like 20 years. So, yeah. But yeah, I just like those things are, they're cool movies, and I'm happy to help people find them, and that's just, that's part of the biggest reason why I have done this for 20 some years, is because I just love these movies, and wanted people to like see them, like, and yeah, but back to modern horror. Yeah, I'm mixed on modern horror. I feel like a lot of it is not for me at this point, and that's just because I'm not a young man anymore, and I'm just very, my tastes are very ingrained at this point. So, like I'll just like 80s slasher movies and gore movies and stuff like that, which doesn't mean I don't like newer stuff. The Five Barf Bag movie is coming up, is actually like from this century. So, yeah, so it's not like I just dismiss it out of hand, but a lot of it is like, I just don't, it doesn't click with me. Even stuff like, I remember a couple of years ago when The Void came out, like everybody I know, all my film critic colleagues, saw The Void at like, like film festivals, and they always come back and they're like, oh, it's so, everything's the best thing ever when you see it at a film festival, because you got that sort of exclusive, you saw it before everybody else, and you saw it with a group of critics, and you're like sort of hyped about it. And then I always see these movies after they hype them all up, and I'm like, it was all right. And, like I came back to The Void when I did it for the show, and I liked it better the second time around, because, the second time around, I knew the story wasn't going to go anywhere, so I could just appreciate it for the gore and the effects, which it's great, and the sort of like weird Fulci Lovecraftian vibe of it all. But like the first time, I was like, like you get so much hype for these things, and it's really hard to see things and not go in with like a preconceived notion. So I'm really like, I'm super, like, I love Terrifier, but I'm super concerned about Terrifier 2, because, I've heard so much about it. Like, how is it ever going to sort of live up to this image people have painted in my brains, beyond the fact that it's 2.5 hours long? I just cannot get past the fact that they made a 2.5 hour long Terrifier movie. So have you noticed as we all get older, we're more jaded, Mike? Yes. Yeah. I try not to be, but like I'm not jaded about films so much. Like I'm still very open to new movies, but, music, I am not. I am super jaded about music. Like you can miss me with almost any hip hop made after 1995. Like I'll just tell you, it sucks. There are rare exceptions. There is some good stuff out there, but yeah. But for me, most of it is like hip hop died in 1995. Like if you go back before that, sure. But yeah, so I'm very jaded about music. I am less so about movies, and I'm a little bit in the middle about video games. Like there are things I still love video games. I think they're fantastic. I love to play them. I'm always going to play video games, but, there is something, sort of a trend in this, this era where everything's about live services and open world collectathons and all that. And sometimes I just want to play a game, man. I just want it to be mindless. I don't want to have like a map that gives me anxiety because there's 8 million things to do on it. So yeah. Anyway, you didn't need to know all that. The Diplomat, thank you. Thoughts on Halloween Ends? Yeah, yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. Not my thing. Yeah, so so I basically in October, like, I'm a big social media guy, like, I spend a lot of time on social media. I don't know why, because it's a waste of time. But Halloween Ends basically, like, drove me to curtailing my Twitter usage pretty dramatically, because I could not, like, I get it. If you like Halloween Ends, great. I'm happy. I'm glad you like it. I did not, and I can articulate why I don't like it. But I had 20 fucking people try to fucking mansplain to me that I just didn't get Halloween Ends. And it's like, dude, I've seen every fucking one of these movies a dozen times. I know the fucking Loomis Strode family tree better than I know my own relatives at this point. I get it. I didn't like it. So, so yeah, so that was just basically it. Yeah, so that was kind of the end of I'm still over there, and I still tweet and I still check. Like, if you tag me in something, I'll see it, or if you DM me and all that. But like, the days of like going on Twitter and scrolling down the chart, that is done for me. Oh my God, Ted, I missed your super chat. I'm an idiot. Thank you so much for that. No question. Just a big thank you for what you do. I know how much time and effort goes into every video, and they all light up all of our Wednesdays. Let's get bloody. Thank you so much. I am touched that people like what I do. I've said this every live stream, that it's like the weirdest thing to me. That so many people have come into this and pay attention to me, because I'm just an angry old man yelling at clouds and telling kids to get off my lawn. So so what do I got here? Beckers, thank you. I hope I said that right. Have you ever tried to get JMB to sponsor a video? No, I really should though. After we had the wine people and the shaker and spoon people, I'm like, we need to get in touch with JMB. JMB is a company that I want to sponsor videos for like a year. Like, I want a year contract with JMB, because I feel like I've given JMB and Tubi a lot of free business, and I think they should kick in a little something for me, because I'm always doing movies that are on Tubi, which is not intentional. Just Tubi has a great bunch of movies on there, and so yeah, yeah. But JMB is like a dream sponsor, so yeah. But Tubi would be good too. We actually have kicked around doing like another thing, sort of like like a semi-regular series of stuff that's on, like what you should be watching on Tubi, like where I go through and kind of curate the best stuff on Tubi every month. I know other people do it, but here's the thing. I really know what I'm talking about. So like, if I tell you something's good on Tubi, you can trust that you're going to like it. I'm not going to send you to watch any crap. So yeah, so that's as controversial as I'll get. I'll just say that I really know what I'm talking about this stuff. So, but yeah, Discord. Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, another thing I would like to do this year is, I love video games, and I would love to do some stuff over on Twitch, just like real casual, hang out, play some games, chat while I play. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, Discord. The problem is sometimes, like, when I started the channel, we talked about doing a Discord, and one of the things that came up was like, because you are all old like me, many of you did not know what Twitch or Discord were. So I was pretty taken aback by this discovery that that people didn't know what Twitch or Discord were. But yeah. But like, if people ever want to come hang out over there, I'm probably going to set that up at some point this year. And I'm not going over there to be like, Valorant super sniper. I like to play RPGs and old shit and all that. So it's very chill, casual, like shit where I can talk and still play the game and not like be super distracted and all that. So, but yeah, if you guys want to come over there, there's a channel over there. I'll post the link at one point. And so I think that's going to happen at some point. So, and if you don't want to come over there, that's great. I'll still be on YouTube. I'm not going anywhere. This is home for better or for worse. So, yeah, I haven't even seen The Last of Us yet, Antoinette. It's on my list. We are currently running through Supernatural again because I was a big fan of Supernatural back in the day, and then season 7 came and I kind of dropped off, and then it ended and I'm like, oh, I should go back and see this, and so now we're back into like the end of season 7, so it's cool, but it's a 15 season show, so yeah, it's gonna take a while, but Last of Us is coming up after that, and I'm kind of just waiting for the season because I like to binge things. Your dad is watching me right now. Hi, Dad. Super shout out. Is your dad older than me? Yeah. So Last of Us is coming. I just kind of wanted to I just kind of want to get to a point where we have that whole season so I can just sit down and binge it. So Thorinbane, yes, man, I try to work in so many MST3K references because those guys, like, look, me, Brandon Tenold, Decker Shadow, all these guys who the Cinema Snob, we all owe those guys everything because without Mystery Science Theater 3000, riff reviews would probably have never been a thing. So, oh, did you see my dog? That's Odin. That's my buddy Odin. He's my little guy. Yeah, so I try to work in references to them all the time. Football practice, Peck Hard Rock, Blast Hard Cheese, Big McLarge Huge, all It Stinks, yeah, I just love all those things. So, and yeah, go Brandon. Brandon's the best. Someone tagged him in a tweet with me today saying we should work together, and I'm like, yeah, that would be great. Maybe he'll see it and want to work with me. So Last of Us is awesome, I hear. So found you over the summer and love your stuff. Would love to collaborate once I invest in my channel more after I get a job. Hey, Token Dave, thank you. Just drop me a line. I'll be honest. I am terrible at hooking up and like fulfilling obligations, not because I'm a jerk. Like I wish, like I tell people all the time, like, I'm not a huge channel, but if I come on your podcast, you guys are so friggin' loyal that like when I went on Chet Czar's show, like 4,000 of you people watched that podcast with me on it. And that was a huge thing for his channel. And I'm super happy to come and help, smaller creators or do something with them or bigger creators too. It's often just a challenge for me because I am not good at budgeting my work time. So yeah. So what do we got here? Roused Hour. Amen. Creep Show, the Shutter Show. I was real mixed on that. Like I watched the first 2 seasons. The first season I didn't like as much as everyone else did. I really liked the Evil Dead themed episode in what was it, season 2? That was really great. And then like the rest of it, it's okay. Let me see what else I got back here. But yeah, like so yeah, I am supposed to do like, I don't know, like a I'm doing a live stream with Piz soon, like in a week, and then I've got like 3 or 4 podcasts that I'm supposed to go on. I've got Comic-Con, and yeah, it's just like I'm just terrible at like working out my schedule. And I work all the time, especially now with like 3 potential shows going. Like I work all the time. And yeah, Brandon is awesome. I think he and I would be fun. The other one, I think Spooky Rice and I would be fun because he's so young and I'm so old, and like we have very similar tastes. He likes video games. He likes anime more than I do, but we both love video games. We both love gory movies. So yeah, I think those 2 guys are definitely, there's tons of guys I would love to work with, but it's just hard to put those things together. It requires a lot of coordination, and then like you got to try to fit your 2 styles together, and I don't know. So who is the hell yeah guy? Mickey. That's Mark Bowden from Anthropophagus. So legend. If I could, there's a guy with his name who runs like some kind of financial services thing in Switzerland, and it has to be the same guy, I would think, but I don't know if it is or not. Um, but I would love to talk to him and get him on the show. Like I would love for him to know that he is like a cultural icon at this point. So am I getting here? So yeah, I would love for that to happen, but I don't know if it will. All right. Have you watched Slasher, the series Slasher? That was on like, I don't know, they've had like I watched 2 seasons of that show. I never saw the third one. I don't think there's any more than 3. They were funny because I figured out the first season in like 5 minutes. But the second one was interesting too. I still like them because they're kind of cheesy fun, but yeah. Mr. Galactus, It Stinks is not from Black Roses, it's from Pod People, aka Extraterrestrial Visitor or ETV. Everybody knows it as Pod People because that's what it was on MST3K. What movie truly scary? So this is the thing, Jaws. That's why I like Jaws so much, because like I'm afraid of being eaten by a shark. Michael McGinn, there might be a surprise announcement later in this stream. I don't know. So, yep, It Stinks is from Pod People. So, can we get? I can't do Linda Tate George. Only Linda Tate George can do Linda Tate George. I can't scream that loud. I won't have any throat left for the rest of this show. Yeah. Super Mario, if you stay tuned, it might be. So, yeah, It Follows. It Follows is interesting. Again, that's another one that people really love that I like, but I'm not like, I don't know. The one that really gets me that everybody loves that I'm not so wild about is the Babadook. Like that one was like, oh yeah, it's okay. But like I see people all the time going nuts over that movie, and it's okay. Cinecrypt, we use Premiere Pro. I started on Premiere, and then when Jay came in, Jay uses Premiere, and now he does all the editing, so he uses Premiere. Oh, Brandon, I'm not doing another Thanksgiving movie. I'm telling you guys right here. You hear it here first. I'm not doing another holiday movie on a holiday because, I did Blood Rage for Thanksgiving and it tanked, and I did Don't Open Till Christmas for Christmas and it also tanked, and so no more. You just confirmed my theory. Is Odin back here? Hey, buddy. He's on his blanket. He's chilling out. Yeah, the Babadook it's a great looking film, and I'm not saying that like I don't like it. I just like I see people just get so crazy, like into like it's so great, and I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. I liked it. I don't know that I'll watch it 3 more times in my life though. My Titan Broden. We call him Broden sometimes. Odin is a Havanese. So he's non-allergenic because I have a lot of allergies. So you should do the opposite, do big time extravaganzas. If I thought that would work, I would try it. You know what's funny? The weirdest thing about this channel is like, and I know like I see it in the comments sometimes, but like I can do all these horror movies, right? I can do it all. And you guys will tune out. I'll tune up 20, 30, 40,000 views. But man, I do one of those Linnea Quigley, Tracy Lords, Alyssa Milano movies. That's 100,000 views every damn time. And it's like, I'm like, how can I not do these? Like I have to keep shoehorning them into the schedule because it's like the best channel grower I have. So it's, yeah, it's weird. I don't dislike it because I like those movies, and it's funny. Like, fun fact, I almost worked for Mr. Skin at one point, like 10 years ago or so. They offered me a position just because I could write so many funny puns about boobs, and and so I didn't end up working out. I didn't end up going to work for them, but like, so when I do those movies, those are like those are movies right in my wheelhouse. Like I would totally do. So this is like a thing for B Movie Babylon. Like I could totally do all those like Shannon Tweed movies and those Gregory Dark movies, the mainstream ones he made, all those erotic thrillers and all that stuff, because they're all getting released on disc now, and they're just and I'm just good at making fun of those movies. So Galactus, Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death was on the short list like a couple weeks ago, and I don't know when I'll get to it, but it probably this year. So Michael, the Lance Henriksen quote comes from House 3, aka The Horror Show. So a good movie. Not a great movie. Definitely not. It does not feel like a House movie. But Lance Henriksen and Brian James are in it together, and they're just fantastic as a duo. So no, Paris, I have not seen Skinamarink yet. So thank you, Planet Planets. I appreciate that. I try to be funny. Some days is better than others. Blood Eagle, you don't know that. We're almost 100K. You know what? I'll tell you this. Here's what I'll tell you. 75K puts me in the top 1% of creators on this platform. You think you have to have 100 million. You don't. Most people don't ever get to 10,000 subs on this platform. If I get to 100,000 subs, I'm in the like top 0.3 of channels. So that's, not accurate. And fuck, James has 5 million and he covers horror movies. So again, yeah. And then and the other thing is like, generally, I'm not really trying to get the mainstream YouTube audience, but there's a bigger YouTube audience in this space than what I have. And that's where we're going. So yeah, it does. So it's and then this is like, YouTube is like a marathon. Like, I don't know, everybody comes into this thing and they're like, oh, if I make 10 videos and I don't get 1 million subs, it sucks and I'm terrible. But, I know you do, Blood. I'm just giving you shit, man. I love you, man. I'm not being mean. I swear. Titan, if you're heading out, hey, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Check back later for that last announcement. So yeah, it's, like I don't. So the funny thing is, when I started this channel, I was like, I would like to get to 100,000 subs. Like, I don't give a shit about 1 million subs. And because I'm like, I don't know how I would handle having 1 million subs, because that's so many people. And like, the bigger the channel gets and the bigger that thing gets, you get way more people, comments to manage and things like that. And one of the things I like about the channel is I can still like read and comment on a lot of stuff that happens in the comment section. And when you get that big, it gets really hard. And when you get that big, you end up with like a lot of people who are just sort of tangentially sort of interested in what you do. We've got like 74,000 people here who are like pretty hardcore about the show. And, I think that's great. Like, that's the audience I want. I'm happy to have a huge audience if that's what's there, but if not, I just want people who are really into this stuff like I am. So, and that's it. So I do have a nice audience. I say this all the time. Like, so when you come on YouTube, they always tell you like, oh, don't read your comment section. That's terrible. You'll go mad if you read your comment section. And shit, man, my comment section is literally 99.8% fabulous. And I have like 0.2% of people who are jerks. And that's fine. Like, I can handle jerks, man. I can handle them. So, and the horror people are the best people. They really are. I say this all the time. I was on Chet's show and we talked about this, that like horror people are just super friendly. I mean, there's always going to be bad eggs in any fandom, but like, every time I've been around horror people, they're always super nice. They're always super polite. They're always super friendly. They're happy to talk about this stuff. They're very respectful. Like, not that I'm like some guy you have to be like super, like I'm some superstar or something, but like, people are always nice to me, and yeah, I'm happy about that. So if the channel got to, 1 million subs, great. If it gets to 100,000, I'm happy. Like, Robert, I started the channel. We're coming up on the 4-year anniversary. Next month is the 4-year anniversary. I've had this YouTube account since 2006, but I did not start making horror content until 4 years ago. So a bit of a fast rise, and yet also not fast when you think about 4 years. If you told me I'd take 4 years to get to 75K at the beginning, I might have went, oh, maybe I should just write more books. All right, I missed the super chat here. James, thank you. Hang on, sorry, I've got one before that. Actually, I got two. I got a couple before that. I'm sorry. Jason Albrecht, thank you. Is the zombie genre a limited premise for a long-running TV series? Last of Us is good so far, but Walking Dead became so repetitive. Yeah, I have gone on the record many times with my disdain for Walking Dead, which is funny because when Walking Dead started, I had a Horror Geek website. It was basically a blog type thing where we did like news. I just ran it by myself. It was just for fun because I was already writing for sites like, I think I was writing for like Cinematical and Movie Phone back then. And so it was just a place for me to just post every day and build something that was horror related. And I got to like pick my stories that I wanted to talk about and stuff like that. And I was hyped for Walking Dead, man. Like you got K&B effects, you've got a good cast, you've got this great comic book, you've got the zombies, the effects were great. But man, by season 5, I just tapped out because it was like, I was not watching it because I liked it. I was watching it out of a sense of obligation that I was supposed to watch it because it was a horror show and it needed support. And but I think, I don't know that every show can't sustain zombies for seasons. Like I think The Last of Us probably can because it's got, it's a pretty self-contained narrative. If you've played the game, like you kind of know where it's going to go because the game has a definite ending point and then there's a sequel. But yeah, I don't know. Like I think you could do zombies for the long haul. But this is one of the things that that's been really interesting about revisiting Supernatural has been that, they ran that stuff for 15 years and they kept like coming back and finding new angles and new things. And, they would mix in, like, there would be a run of mythology episodes where they're, fighting angels or devils or whatever. And then there'd be Monster of the Week episodes to break it up. And I never felt like something like, The Walking Dead ever kind of nailed that sort of rhythm. It was just like the same thing. And they really they lost me at season 2, man, when they spent all that time on the farm looking for the girl and then they find her. And then like the next season they have to split up again and they all lose each other. And like, nobody made a plan for how to reconnect if we get separated again after the first time. That was the end for me for that. Yeah, it's not the most popular opinion, cause I know a lot of people like The Walking Dead, but I literally tapped out after season 5. And I've never gone back to see the rest. Snipe Dude, have you seen Threads? I have. Man, that's a rough one. So what was the American one? Like The Day After Tomorrow or whatever was when I was a kid was the one. And I remember like being in elementary school. That's how old I am. And it was like everybody would talk about The Day After Tomorrow. My parents wouldn't watch it. They wouldn't watch it and they wouldn't let us watch it. But when I got the chance to see Threads, I jumped. And that is quite the little film, let me tell you. Definitely scary, harrowing little film. So James, thank you. Your show reminds me of the 80s and 90s, where back when you could watch Tales from the Dark Side, and so that's exactly what I'm trying to do. That is so like when I was back in the 80s and like 87, 88, I must have been like 15, 16, and my weekends were literally spent like we'd go to the video store and pick up some video games and a couple horror movies, and then we'd come back and like Friday the 13th, the series was on at 2 a.m. and Freddy's Nightmares was on at 3 a.m. and we'd stay up for that and we'd watch movies and play video games and see stuff like, Up All Night on USA or, so that was literally my teen years and even younger, before I was a teen. But, yeah, it's, that's the stuff I love. And that's kind of the vibe I try to put into these, this show and the other shows as they come. Because that was like I say all the time, if I could go back in time and live in a year for forever, I would go back to like 1987 or 1988 because those were just like there were great horror movies, rap music was great, video games were great. All the stuff I love was like right in that little stretch from like 86 to 89. So yeah, I'm glad though. I'm glad you get that that sort of vibe from the show because that's a lot of what inspires me and what I try to recreate. With just a lot more terrible jokes. Gamma Base Comics, thank you. Did you see the new documentary on All American Massacres? I have not seen that. No. London After Midnight. Yeah, so this is funny. Like, like one of the things I hope to get to on Deep Cuts are like some of these lost movies. I will just spoil this for you. The Event Horizon episode is literally about the lost footage from Event Horizon, the 20 some minutes that got lost and the quest to find it. And will we ever find it? Probably not, but maybe. So I'm unendingly fascinated by lost movies and lost media and things like that. So yeah, I will have to check that out. I didn't even know that existed. So thanks for telling me about it. I have not watched Wormwood or Wormwood Apocalypse. This is so funny because somebody like I had somebody who was coming in that was telling me that was like the best zombie movie ever. And I don't know that that's true, but that's enough to get me to watch it. So I'm gonna have to track them down and watch them because I've had multiple people ask me about it. So well, there must be something to it. All right. Did I enjoy any of the Resident Evil movies? Yeah, I've only seen the first couple. Like I tapped out somewhere along the line there too. I don't remember where it was now. I love the games more. But the movies are fun. Like so the hard thing about Resident Evil is like you look at it and you go, "Oh yeah, it's fine for what it is." But like if you're old like many of us, you remember that Romero was attached to that at one point, and it's like I'm always looking at Resident Evil the movies and thinking, God, what would we have got if they'd let Romero make this? And then I go, well, maybe we'd have got Diary of the Dead, so maybe it was for the best that he didn't. But I like to think he would have made a great Resident Evil movie, and probably that whole franchise would have gone in a different direction had he got to make it. But yeah, I don't know. I like them; they're okay. Snipe Dude, thank you. Deathline with Donald Pleasance and Christopher Lee. The cannibal even has a catchphrase. Yeah, that one I have not seen, so I'm gonna have to track that one down. Planet Planets. My buddy and I do a random bad movie night every month, and we've had a great time watching movies you've covered that I've never heard of. Thanks. I am delighted to hear that. I wish there were some way, and maybe this is a Discord thing, where I could do watch alongs. We had a company approach me about it like last year where we would go and they had movies and you could set up and do like viewing sessions with your audience type thing. But like everybody has to have the service. So like if it's Netflix, you have to have a Netflix account. And if you're in the UK and it's not on Netflix UK, sorry, you're screwed. And it was just like it was not the best fit. Like it was good, it was a good idea, but until you get to the point where you can actually like have everybody in. I don't want to exclude people. I don't want to be like, like, oh, well, sorry, you can't come to this because you're in, Canada or England or Ireland or wherever. And this is an American only thing. So, but I have heard through the grapevine that sometimes people do these things on Discord. But I don't know what the legal ramifications of that are. So I'm not going to do it. Wink, wink. in case the FBI is watching. So yeah, but I would love to do stuff like that because like I don't want to do it where I have to come on and I have to do all of the jokes because that's just impossible. but like I would like to just hang out and run a movie and chit chat over it type thing and throw in an occasional joke or observation or whatever. But I have not figured out how to make that work yet. Mickey, thank you. I'm glad you love them. And are you older than me? Because if you're not that old. Amy, thank you for that. I'm glad you love the channel, and thank you for coming to all my my premieres. It's nice. We have a nice it's nice. Like I do the premieres every week and like sometimes people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't do premieres every week." And I'm like, "But this is like my audience expects it." And it's fun for me because I like to just come and watch the premiere. And like a lot of times I don't even say much in the chat because I'm just watching to see what people laugh at. So it's like market research for me. Like, oh, they really laughed at that joke. So we need more like that. Or wow, that joke really didn't get any reaction at all. So that wasn't as fun. That wasn't funny to anybody but you. So so yeah. But what else have we got here? Yeah, Nord has not approached. We had Surfshark like last year. I've got another one, another VPN wants to sponsor, and I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't know who they are. So I have to look into them before we figure out if we're gonna do that. Um yeah, but I still haven't seen Predator 5. Ah, see, you're on a server that has movie nights sometimes. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, like I get the complaint about piracy or whatever, but like these things, they need to come up with some solution here that allows people like me to like I'm helping sell your movies. Let me help you sell your movies. If, like every week I do a sick flicks video and, we sell like, I mean, and this is just what I know, but when people buy them through the affiliate links and like, trust me, if you ever want to help the channel and you don't want to do Patreon or any of that and you buy stuff on Amazon, just click one of those affiliate links in the description or the pinned comment and go there. You don't have to buy the movie. You can buy anything and the channel gets a couple pennies for it. So you're helping the channel if you shop at Amazon. You don't even have to buy the movie. But every week we cover a movie and I sell a couple DVDs or Blu-rays for these companies. And then for them to come back and go like, "Well, we want to sue you and block your video and all that," and is just insane to me. So they need a they need a system where they make this like okay. And I mean technically we have fair use, but nobody respects that. And so like I'm sure if we did like look at what Joe Bob does. Like every week he's live, people tune in, I don't know, tune in to Shutter to watch that show, to watch the movies, have a good time, and people go out and buy those movies afterwards. Like I know people have bought movies because of Joe Bob's show, and they watched the movie on a show, but they still went out and bought it. So I just, yeah, I don't understand. So public domain is rough because this country just continually punts copyright 100 years down the road every time it expires to protect Disney. So so like public domain now is like if you want to do something from the 1800s, you might be okay. Mekon headed freak, that beard is freaking glorious. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. The beard appreciates it too. Yeah. See, Mark, I always watch the movies before I watch your horror movie sick flicks. Yeah. Like a lot of people do that. And then sometimes, like some people, it's like, I get it. Some people don't want the movie spoiled. Not, I'm always like, most of these movies, I have a weird attitude about spoilers. I think I get not wanting to have something spoiled for you. I understand it on an intellectual level. But as a writer, I also look at it and go like, I don't care if the only thing that makes a story work is some twist or some reveal or some surprise, then it's not a very good story. So like all the things I love, I go back and watch stuff I've seen 100 times and I know everything that's going to happen. Like I can recite every line of dialogue from Big Lebowski if you get me drunk enough, but I will watch it and laugh every time because I just love the characters and I love the story and I love the situations. And so like knowing what's going to happen does not diminish the movie for me. And I get that it does for some people. So, but like, yeah, I'm like glad, like I try to do stuff where you can go see it if you want to see it first, or like it's on streaming somewhere. And sometimes we hit some that aren't, but you can always come back and watch them whenever. If you want to see it first and you haven't seen it yet, you can. I'm going to spoil it though. If you watch me, I'm going to spoil it because I can't avoid getting to the freeze frame swerve endings. So, oh, did I miss you review? No, you did not miss me reviewing Return of the Aliens Deadly Spawn because I have not done that yet. Brandon, I appreciate that. Yeah, anytime you guys, if you order through Amazon, like, you can, it doesn't cost you anything more. It doesn't make anything more expensive. It's just a way to, I talked about this last stream and a lot of people have been using it. It's just a way that like you buy something and I get like, shit, if you buy a DVD, I get like pennies, but it's pennies and it adds up and it's fine. So if you ever want to help the channel and you're shopping on Amazon and you're like, I can't afford to go on Patreon, or I don't want to go on Patreon, or I don't want to do a super chat, I don't want to do any of that shit, but I like this guy and I want to help him out, just use one of those affiliate links. I love it. I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who does. So, Token Dave, I'm 42 and I refuse to believe you're old. You're younger than me. Yeah. What else we got here? All right. Dirty Rotten Hikers. What am I spilling the beans on? I don't even know what you're talking about. If that's for me. Let's get Mike drunk. That's not hard. It is hard to do because I have a pretty good tolerance, but it doesn't take a lot of coercing to get me drunk. You just put the vodka in front of me and I'll take care of the rest. Yes, I have seen Horror High. What else we got here? Yeah, we loved Ash versus Evil Dead too. Yeah, the third season. I felt like it wasn't bad. I like sometimes you just hit a season that's like maybe not as good as the previous, but I would have loved more of that. So I'm always bummed that we somehow got like 80 seasons of The Walking Dead and only 3 of Ash versus the Evil Dead. Jimmy's Random Content. Thanks, man. It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. So what else we got going on? The Belko experiment was pretty good. That's one that's one I always wanted to do, like that was more recent and gory. And then I know James had trouble with his, like it got blocked for a while or something and he had to go through hell and back to get it released. And so there's a lot of times now where like if I know something's going to be a headache, I kind of avoid it. Although hopefully now with the new we're ahead on everything, it gives me a little more time to fight things out. So but yeah. Honky tonk. It does scale. Amazon's affiliate program works. There's a different percentage you get depending on what the item is. So like certain categories do well, like if you buy a watch or if you buy clothes or if you buy something that has a subscription or a bounty, like Kindle books have bounties. So you always do really well on those. But if you buy, shit. But if you buy video games or movies, it's super low. Like I think someone actually bought a Switch, which was fantastic because I was like, ooh, somebody's getting a Switch for Christmas, and I was excited about that for them. But like a Switch is like $300 and it's 1%, so I made $3 off that. But and I'm not complaining. That's great. $3 is $3, and it helped. Every bit helps. But it's just funny, like to go like, yeah, I'll sell a DVD and I'll look at my thing and it's like, oh, we paid you 46 cents. And it's like, okay. But yeah, it adds up like, and like on Amazon, you can buy literally anything on there. So if you shop over there and it's all good. You don't even think about it like, oh, I have to buy something that has a good return. Just if you go over there and you buy stuff and you want to toss a couple bucks my way, that's one way to do it. And I am always just happy to see that work. Like that's the whole point of doing it, was to just help people find this stuff anyway. So yeah, so it's not always just pennies. Still loving your videos and asinine puns. Keep it up, please. I'm not going anywhere. They're gonna have to kick me off this platform before I go. Hello, Mr. Mike. We've been attempting to contact you about your car insurance. Just keep trying. Oh goodness. Laura, thank you. Glad you like them. What if I buy an airbrush compressor and some styrene? That counts. Like this is how it works. Like if you go through the link, anything you buy for like 24 hours, unless you go through someone else's link in the interim, gets credited to our account. Yeah, you can buy anything. Like I will never be able to tell who bought what, so think that. Like, you feel like, oh, I don't want to buy this thing because I don't want them to know. I have no idea who buys what. I just see what the item was that got bought, what they're paying me as a commission for the affiliate. That's it. So somebody bought like a bunch of guitar stuff at one point, and a ton of DVDs. We've sold tons of DVDs for them. So yeah, anything you buy over there if you want. So mostly use Amazon for Blu-rays and now 4Ks and jeans. Yeah, all that stuff counts. Like, it's literally anything. So what have I missed back here? Goodness. Are you guys ready for another announcement? I feel like it's time to do the last announcement. How did you loathe the Big Lebowski? Barrett, man, come on. I like you. Don't tell me these things. Don't make me think less of you. Every time I come in here, one of you guys drops some bomb on me, like I hate the Big Lebowski, or I hate Jaws, or always something, or I love Toto's Africa, or I love Halloween 3, or then I go to bed that night. I'm like, how does this happen? Oh, goodness. Joe Bob is a really nice guy. I've never got to meet Joe Bob, unfortunately. I hope to one of these days. I was always bummed I never got a Silver Bolo award. I don't think they're doing that anymore. Jay got one though. Fancy Jay, he got one. Not me though. I'm not bitter at all. I love Jay, but I want a Silver Bolo, damn it. I'm easy to buy off. You can appease me with trinkets. Give me the stupid 100,000 subscriber plaque and a Silver Bolo tie, and I'm like a pig in shit. Gretchen, Gigi, Suzanne, Goth, Barbie, 3000, longest username ever. Back again. I love Freddy's Nightmares. Yeah, Freddy's Nightmares is so weird. Like, I have not gone back to rewatch that show in a very long time, although I know it's streaming somewhere now. I forget where. I liked it, but it was like, you know what's really funny about that show is, like I said, it was always on here on the weekend on like Saturday night at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And I would be trying to stay awake because I didn't have a VCR in my room. So anything I wanted to watch on TV, I had to stay up for. And Freddy's Nightmare was one that I always tried to stay up for. And by like 3 o'clock, I was like passing out because I'd had a week at school and all that shit. And so like watching that show while you're also like dozing off is a very surreal experience, as I recall. That's all I remember about it, was that it was just very surreal. I really should go back and rewatch it. It's weird because like I know Freddy wasn't really in some of the episodes and stuff, but I dug it. I liked Friday the 13th more though. So what do we got here? Come to the Halloween drive-in that takes place in LA. Joe Bob is usually host. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not good at traveling. Yeah, USA Up All Night was a staple around here. You know, you got Gilbert one night, you got Rhonda Shear the other night, you got like 4 or 5 good movies in a weekend. And then, we would go to the video store and I'd literally rent like 8 movies on a Friday night, 8 horror movies. And then we'd just be up all night watching horror movies and playing video games and shit. That was a good time. Martin is an awesome film. I love Martin. That's a incredibly underrated little film too. Dead Alive, 5 bar fight. Yeah. Arc. Yeah. We've never done it on the show because it's a Lionsgate title, so that's a headache, and there's so much gore in it that I don't even know how I would do it and not get demonetized now. So Sick Flicks needs a Linda Day George tap dance extravaganza. Who's gonna tap dance though? I can't. Oh, thanks, Carlos. We're in a big training block now. Like I've been back like 13 weeks in the cut and lots of heavy lifting and lots of volume lifting, which I do not care for, but is obviously good for me. Fog Zombie, do you attend any Florida cons? Well, I'm going to be at the Atlanta one, and there's a good chance I might be at some of those other ones you listed there this year. Not official, but there's a chance. That's all I'm saying. Rhonda Shear is still alive. She sells oh God, what does she? Some kind of clothes on like QVC or something. She has like a line of clothes or something, but she's still around. I can't believe Gilbert's gone. That's the one that kills me all the time. How we lost Gilbert. Yeah, see, she sells bras now on QVC. Yep. There you go. I knew it. I knew she was selling something. Yeah, Martin is good if you've ever, yeah, like if you've ever been like the loner or bullied or any of that, Martin will resonate with you. And it's just a really good movie. Like it's Romero's most underrated film. I am comfortable saying that, and I will stand by it. I know I know people have made the argument the Bruiser is his most underrated one, and what was the other one that people always talk about? Like Night Riders and stuff like that. But I think Martin is the one. Like it's his Martin. If not for Dawn, I would say Martin was his best film. So, but that's just me. Favorite horror movie score composer? Well, I gotta go with Goblin. Like I gotta go with Claudio. Those guys, like all those Italian films they did. I love all those scores. So, that's my favorite for sure. What else we got here? Here in the UK in the early 90s, Stephen King's World of Horror was on at like 2 a.m., followed by Friday the 13th, the series. I feel, yeah, that was it. Like we didn't get World of Horror that late, but we got World of Horror. I think World of Horror here was on USA. And it was also on like Saturday night, but it was earlier here as I recall. But yeah, Friday the 13th, the series was literally for like the first two seasons was actually the first season it was on like at 10 or 11. And then the second and third season, they moved it to like 2 a.m. And I would literally just stay up and watch that. And then Freddy's Nightmares and then pass out. The original Crazy is another one that was, yeah, that's another one that gets mentioned as his most underrated. And I would agree with that, except I think the remake brought enough attention to the original that people have figured out that it's a good movie. And so Martin, I'm really hoping that new Martin Blu-ray set, what is it, 4K or whatever, is going to like make people aware of how good Martin is. It's a really good movie. So, favorite horror movie to watch while drunk? Oh God, there's so many. Honestly, I don't know. I like usually I like a horror comedy or a gore comedy, but like I really like I like to watch like one of the Evil Deads when I'm really drunk. Like the first one, I like the first one, but I think Dead by Dawn is probably the best one to watch. Like when you're really drunk, because it's just so crazy. Rhonda has her own YouTube channel. I did not know that. People Under the Stairs. That's getting a new release from I think Scream Factory. So that's one I always wanted to do too, but it's like we've not done. I don't think I've done any Craven, have I? That's one like I think like we're gonna have to go to like deep cuts. Jehovah barf bag stickers. Yeah, we were gonna make actual barf bags as I discussed earlier, but they wanted me to buy 180,000 of them. Which I don't know how much of space 180,000 barf bags would take up, but it's probably a lot. Chris, yeah, I did Bad Taste. It's back in the archives. Did you ask me about that in a comment today? Someone else asked me about that today. That was yeah, that's one we did. It got demonetized. Yeah, Army of Darkness is good drunk too. Actually, I saw Army of Darkness the first time in the theater and I might have been drunk that night. I don't remember. Yeah, Second Sight is doing the 4K. That's it. So Meet the Feebles I count them Meet the Feebles as horror for sure. That's a great movie too. That's another one, B Movie Babylon or Deep Cuts. That's going to fit in there somewhere. So I loved Friday the 13th, the series. Like, it's funny because like when you go back to it now, it's like it's so 80s that show. Like it's so 80s Canadian at that because it was a Canadian US production and they shot it all in Canada and it's like they had to have a bunch of Canadian crew and actors and stuff like that. But yeah, I love it. That show, like I said I don't know where I said it, but I don't know if I said it on one of my live streams or someone else's, but I'm like, if Hollywood ever gives me money to wants to buy something of mine, the deal is going to involve two things beyond paying me for what they're paying me for. They're going to have to let me take a crack at bringing back Friday the 13th, the series, and Highlander. That's my deal. You could offer me $1 billion, but if those two things aren't part of the deal, you're not getting it. So it's just things I love. Serpent in the Rainbow is underrated. I love Serpent in the Rainbow, and that's one that like people ask for a lot, and I'm like, ooh, I could probably do that, but it's hard to I don't know if I can make it funny. That's the thing. It's a really good movie, and it's weird because it was in that weird little period where suddenly there were like several voodoo movies all at once. There was that, and there was the one with Martin Sheen, and so it was crazy, but yeah, that's the best of the bunch. That one's a really good one. Zakes Mokai, I've always liked that little guy, and he's always like he's super creepy in that movie. So, but Mr. DJ Longhair, I'm sorry I can't see, my screen is small. Thank you for the super chat, new sub here. Cool to catch you live. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for subbing and thanks for hanging out. I hope you're digging through the backlog of videos and liking them, and hopefully if you're watching them chronologically, you can see me getting better and my beard getting longer and grayer and all that stuff. Yeah, don't let them bury me. I'm not dead. Yeah, that is, they were serious, because I think they were a company who does like barf bags for actual airlines or something. And, because, like, you're like, oh, who do I go to buy barf bags from? Like, that's not something you'd like run down to Walmart and pick up. Thoughts on Kolchak the Night Stalker? Thank you, Thomas. Big fan from back in the day. I haven't seen it in a long time though. That's one of those things I would like to go back and revisit at some point. So if you want more, Italo Disco, if you want more cheesy aliases, that's your genre. I do like a good alias. Yeah, Mark of the Devil was released with barf bags. Which sort of was the inspiration for the barf bags in the rating scale. It was just one of those things where like it just made sense. And it was like I always thought it was cool that they did that back in the day with that movie. And then when I was sort of brainstorming sick flicks, it was like, what can I do? What can I score this thing? That will resonate with horror. Like I'm like, oh, can we do bloody axes or this or that? And I'm like, no. And then barf bags was just like perfect. Planet Planets, I have never tried disc golf. I've never. I have friends who play though, but I've never tried. It looks fun though. Lee, thank you. I loved your appearance on the Found Footage Fest Halloween special. Thank you. I'm glad somebody watched that. That was a lot of fun. I really like those guys, and I know they had asked me to come back like last summer, I think around August, and I was just super swamped with stuff, and it just didn't work out schedule wise, and then I've not ever been asked back again. So I don't think it was like I made them mad, I hope, but yeah, but they've got the other oh god, what's her name? She does the horror show for them now, and it's a good show. Like I like her show. Like she's got a great set. It's a good show. So they probably don't need me anymore because like they've got a horror person. But yeah, I love that show. They're great. They're great guys. I still watch like all the time. So I'm always watching that. Yeah, People Under the Stairs is laughable in spots, but I think that's intentional. So Craven has an odd filmography, I will agree. But I will also say, excuse me, the Wes Craven is one of the rare directors who made a classic in every decade. Like for 3 decades in a row, he made a classic. He gave you Last House in the 70s, which is a classic. Then he gave you Nightmare on Elm Street and in the 80s, and then he gave you Scream in the 90s. And then it's kind of all over the place after that. But like even if you don't like Scream, Scream was a big deal. Like it's a pretty much a classic film. Um, so yeah, but he does have an interesting filmography. Wes is one of those guys. Like I have a hard time, like all the time. Like I forget that he's gone. Like it's just weird to me that like Wes Craven is not around. And sometimes I'll find myself thinking, geez, I haven't seen a Wes Craven movie in a long time. What's he doing? And then I'm like, oh shit, he's dead. And, but he's one of those guys I wish I had gotten an opportunity to meet. Like I met Carpenter at E3 back in like 2000 or 2000, whatever year he had the thing come out on in the video game. And he was great. Like I stood there and talked to him for forever while he was signing stuff. And, super cool guy. And I was like super glad I got to meet him. I've got to meet Argento, but I didn't get to meet Fulci. I didn't get to meet Craven. I didn't get to meet George. So, that's one of those things I try to be like, as I get older now, I'm like more aware of it. Like, oh, you should go to something where these guys are at and meet them and talk to them, because none of us are getting any younger. So, and that's your cheerful thought for the evening. Apple Poisoner just got done dropping my boyfriend at the airport and jumped on. He's headed back to England. Wow, that's a long distance relationship, huh? Well, thanks for stopping by. Not JPEG. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming by. All right. I hear a lot of Brandon. I hear a lot of things about Savini. I hear good things and I hear things like yours. And I have not met Tom. I would also like to meet him at some point, but I get Savini, like if he's a little bit standoffish sometimes, not to excuse that, because you're doing these things to meet the fans and they're your fans and you should be good to them. I also get though that like I bet Tom Savini at this point in his life is tired of answering the same 10 questions. And so every time he goes to one of these cons, he's going to answer the same 10 questions 100 times. So yeah, I think from what I can gather from just all the different people I know who've met Savini and not having met Tom myself, that I think it's really just depends on what day you catch him on. Like sometimes you catch him and he's in a good mood, and sometimes you catch him and he's just not putting up with anybody's shit. I don't know. Like, I don't know how you figure out which day to catch him on, but I think that's him. And as a crotchety old guy myself, I can sort of relate. People that weren't there when it came out didn't realize the impact Scream had on the movie business. Yeah. Horror was literally dead. Like if like it's funny because being a horror fan in the 80s, you're in this golden era of slasher films. And I talked about this because I have an 80s movie from the late 80s coming up that's pretty well known. And it's wild when you go back and watch this movie now, because it was a Fox movie. It got a theatrical release, and it's not like a great movie. It's not a big budget movie or anything like that, but it got a theatrical release from a studio with a budget and a advertising budget, and it made some money. And and that was what the 80s were like. Like there was always a horror movie, like maybe not every week, but there was always one coming. There was always one in the theater. There was always more on the way. There were slashers. There were all these, big budget ripoffs, like this one is an Elm Street ripoff. And then like the slasher films died, and like 89 came, 90, and you got Silence of the Lambs and Jacob's Ladder, and that was horror. Like when the slashers ended, nobody made horror movies for a couple years. Like it was like real dry, slim pickings out there. And so by the mid 90s, Craven comes along and makes Scream. And like, I don't like a lot of what came in the wake of Scream, that whole Kevin Williamson postmodernist slasher riff thing. Like I don't care for a lot of those movies much, but you can't deny that like Scream was vitally important to the genre in the mid 90s because horror was pretty much dead as far as like, the studios and all that. And that suddenly then like, oh, I made $100 million. Suddenly everybody wanted to make horror movies again. So I will always give it respect for that. Plus, like it's hard. It's hard to like contextualize Scream now because if you weren't there, if you didn't see it in the theater, and that's not to say like, oh, gatekeepery, you have to have seen it in the theater to get it. But like I remember seeing Scream in the theater at a screening, and you like having no clue other than it was a riff on slasher movies. And like you get in there and like if you go in cold and knew nothing about it, seeing Drew Barrymore get stabbed to death and hung from a tree in the first like 10 minutes is like, holy shit. So it was like it was a big deal. And I will always respect it for that. But I always say, I think the mistake Craven made there was that like he killed her and she was the big face on the poster. And you think she's the final girl. She's going to live to the end. And he killed his final girl in the first murder scene. But the problem was like, how do you top that for the rest of the movie? Like, you're like, I remember sitting there thinking like, oh my God, if he killed Drew Barrymore, anybody in this movie can die now. But like, then it kind of falls into a traditional slasher rhythm with more jokes. But yeah, but like it's a film that had an impact. So Silence of the Lambs is funny to me. I have long been on the hill, willing to die on the hill that I hate Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter. I much preferred Brian Cox in Manhunter because I just like Brian Cox better anyway, than Anthony Hopkins. I just thought that Hopkins plays that character with so much ham and so over the top. Like the fava beans and Chianti line makes me die. It is not intimidating to me. It's not cool. It's just hilarious in a scene that's not supposed to be hilarious. And so I have never cared for Silence of the Lambs. And it's funny because I was like super excited to see it because I had read the book and yeah, but like I much prefer Cox and Manhunter. So Life Force is one, man. I have wanted to do Life Force on the show forever, and it will never happen because there's no way we can blur that many boobs. No chance. Oh yeah. See, yeah. All those shows, the 80s, late night after nights of party, and Monsters, Nightmare on Elm Street, the series, Tales from the Dark Side. Yeah, that was us. We, Tales from the Dark Side had the scariest opening theme music ever. Like that opening, it's like terrifying. And yeah, we watched all that stuff, man. And now it's like none of that, like it's hard to find anything like that anymore. It's kind of sad. So, what's we got here? Yeah, Outer Limits. Everybody got traumatized by the ad for Magic, Todd. Yeah, Magic traumatized an entire generation. Idle Hands is surprisingly fun. Yeah, I will give it that. I've only seen it once, and it was quite a few years ago, but I remember liking it. Yeah, Joe Dante. Like that's just it. Like like this is what's sort of funny about modern horror to me is like you have a lot of guys who are talented who are trying to make horror films, and but the films are like so, I don't know, they're so serious. And trust me, I don't have anything uh against serious horror movies, obviously, because I like a lot of really depressing crap, but um it's just like funny because like I often feel like there's no counterbalance to that anymore. Like hardly anyone, if it feels like no one ever makes a fun horror movie anymore. Like they're so serious and so, I don't know. It's sort of hard to articulate. It's one of those things I would have to sit down and script out like what the problem is. But there's just something to them that like, and I don't want to get into that like the political thing because I don't agree with that because horror movies have had messages forever. Um, all the big movies and they're ham-handed in their exposition. But Yeah, they're just very serious, and sometimes they're very self-serious, and like you'd see something like Carpenter would make a horror film, and yeah, like The Thing is a serious horror film. It's a scary film, but it has moments of like levity in it, and where it, you know, lets off the gas a little bit and lets you breathe. And a lot of these modern films just feel like overproduced and very sort of heavy. And I don't know. They're that's not a that's not a condemnation of them, but I do sometimes wish they were that like somebody was making something fun. But that's my editorial for tonight. So someone will take this and twist it around into like either I'm woke or I'm not woke or I don't know. But it's not either thing. It's just that I just want some horror movies to counterbalance the seriousness with something that's fun. And sometimes we've had some fun stuff. Like I thought VFW was mostly fun, but there's a lot of stuff that that has not only is like heavy, but it's just very self-serious. Like I I look at those guys and like I know Carpenter and all those guys were like you know, they loved making horror movies, but they also had fun with it. And some of these guys I don't know that they're having fun with it. And I just would rather that they did. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, I live in Florida. Talking woke is illegal. Yeah, dude, like, yeah, I'm not even opening that can of worms because you can't win when you open that can of worms, no matter what you're on. Like, yeah. So I don't. That's just one. I don't know. It's that, and that's like I said, it's not a commentary on that. It's just a commentary on the sort of tone of some of these films. Like, I think you know what the better tone is. I think some of them try to be artsy, and they're so fixated on being artsy that they don't have any fun. And I don't mean that I need, I don't need like these A24 films to be, 80s slasher cheese, but at the same time, I, would like them to be a little less self-serious, I guess. Yes, elevated horror. That's the term I'm looking for. I do not care for the term elevated horror in the same way I didn't care for torture porn. And I think they are meaningless terms. But yeah. So all right, I'm done before I get in trouble. Yeah. So they have not found Julian Sands, Jonathan. Last I heard, I looked the other day and they had not found him. So that's a bummer too. Yeah, so now I have this bug up my butt to do something on Warlock because I love Julian Sands and I'm like bummed that he's probably not with us anymore. Yeah, well, that's it, Bill. I'm fine with that. Like, I don't dislike A24. I'm not saying that. I'm very mixed on them. Like there are things I like about those films. Like there are things I like about The Witch. There are things I like about Midsommar. There are, and at the same time, there are times too that like they're not films that I would return to and watch regularly, which is always one of those things for me that's like a big factor in determining whether a film is good or not. Like if I want to, come back and rewatch it every year or whatever, then it's pretty good. If it's something, and sometimes there's movies that are just too heavy that I don't want to revisit. Like and it's not because it's heavy, but like I like The Exorcist, but I can't watch The Exorcist more than once every 10 years because I just I like it. I appreciate it. I think William Friedkin's brilliant, but I just don't really enjoy the movie enough to watch it, you know, every year. So, so that doesn't make them bad. It just makes it's not for me. So 90s Argento. Yeah. Not Argento. I posited this many times that once Mario Bava died and the Bava influence kind of fell out of his work, that was kind of the end of Argento's best period. So yeah, there's something to that thought. There's certainly some escapist tendencies and making them realistic. I think I don't even have a problem with them being realistic. I just think sometimes they're just very self-serious, and there's a difference between being serious about something and then but like being like it's like the guy at the club or at the bookstore who's like sure he's brilliant and he's going to tell you how brilliant he is. And sometimes when I watch some of these newer movies, I get the feeling like it's not about making a movie, it's about telling me how smart you are. And I don't care for that so much. Yeah, the Exorcist is like, look, I'll never argue that The Exorcist is not a great movie. It's just not a movie that I revisit often. Um, I and it's not because it freaks me out. It's not because it I don't like it. It's just one of those movies where I appreciate it for what it is, but I don't need to see it more than once every decade. And whereas I will watch Halloween or Jaws or a lot of these other movies, I will watch them anytime they're on. So I don't know why it is what it is about The Exorcist that for some reason I can't I don't need to see it very often. I like The Wailing more than yeah, The Wailing is really good. A lot of people don't talk about that. I have never been misled in that way. I've been misled by marketing many a times. I work in marketing, so I'm a pro at figuring that out. Yeah, why so serious, Kim Talk? That's so this is why you come to the live because you're gonna get like you're gonna watch me try to figure out things in real time, which is super fascinating, I'm sure. And everybody's just like, oh, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna trip over? And it's like navigating a minefield. So like because like everything now is like that where you're like oh my god no matter how I say this someone's going to take it and twist it in some way that so yeah. Oh, I love Exorcist 3. I will watch Exorcist 3 way more often than I will watch The Exorcist because I love George C. Scott. So yeah, they just like it's a good movie, The Exorcist. It's just like I don't know. I love William Friedkin. I find him fascinating because he's hilarious. Like you ever see the William Friedkin thing that makes the round on social media every couple months about him talking about Oliver Stone uh and DVD. The interviewer says Oliver Stone says DVDs will only last 10 years, and Friedkin's like cursing, and he's like, "What the hell? I've got DVDs that are older than 10 years." He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and he like goes on this rant. And Friedkin is always good for that, which is what I love about him. So, oh, I have not checked out Sorority Babes too. I have not. I was worried that like you when you try to come back to something like that 3 decades later, it's tough. Matt, universally loved horror you hate, dude. You trying to get me canceled? Halloween 3 isn't that universally loved now? Yeah, yeah. Exorcist 3 is a really well crafted film, and that line is a good example of why. And then there's just it's just a really good like George C. Scott is great in it, and it's Brad Dourif is great in it. It's just like, and it's got an atmosphere, and I dig it more. I'll be honest. Like, if you ask me to like watch one or the other, I'm gonna watch Exorcist 3. I will acknowledge that Exorcist has the bigger cultural impact of the two, but yeah, H3 is the safe answer. It does have the best jump scare there ever was. You are absolutely right, John. So, okay, time to block. Who are we blocking, Jennifer? I hope we're not blocking me. Brad Dorff is awesome in general. That dude's one of those guys who makes everything he's in better, without fail. If I could watch John Saxon beat up an actor director of your choice, who would it be? Tyler Perry. I killed two birds with one stone. He's an actor and a director. But it has to be in the Medea costume. Oh, goodness. My Jim Ross is not getting any better. But thanks for asking, Jay. I appreciate that. Yeah, I wanted a Night of the Creeps 2 too. I still feel cheated about that. That would be a handicap match. Yeah, Killer Joe is pretty good. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Argento's Dracula is a film that I would love to do on Sick Flicks, but I feel like everybody has done it and has done such a good job of it because it's so easy to pick on that I don't know that I could add anything new. So yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm not sure we'll ever get to that. I'm sure we will get to that one, but I don't know how I'm going to make it better than everything that's already out there. Yeah, Killer Joe is really, you should check out Killer Joe. If only we had a soundboard. So this is funny. The hell yeah. So like I had at one point created a thing that for super chats, that when you did a super chat, it would put up Danny with hell yeah with the super chat. And it was funny because I was like, oh, this is great. Except that then I thought, I came to this realization that like if I do this and like people can make him say hell yeah, I'm never going to get to talk because it's just going to be hell yeah all night. So I had to nix that. Sorcerer also brilliant. Yes, Todd, 100% with you on that. Is Jerry Lawler doing better? I had not heard. I'm glad though. So, all right. Let me come over here for a second. All right. Let me find my things here. All right. Last big announcement of the night. So, as you may know, John Saxon and Mitchell. Mitchell, yeah, before I get to the announcement, Mitchell cracks me up. Mitchell cracks me up as its own movie without the Mystery Science Theater thing. But then seeing John Saxon in it with Crow and Servo and all that, and when they do the Johnny Mathis bit, that just makes me laugh every time. So, like he's gonna shoot Johnny Mathis. All right, so last big announcement, the one you've all been waiting for. Good Lord, after 4 years, we have a merch store. So you can buy a hell yeah shirt. You can buy a Linda Day George Bastard sticker or shirt. It's a work in progress, but we got a lot of different stuff up there. It's through Teespring right now. I don't know if we'll stay there forever or not. I just wanted to get it up and let you guys get stuff. So I'm going to give you the link and you can peruse at your convenience. So here is the link to the store. There you go. Did that go up? There we go. And I'm going to pin that. Don't everybody run over there now and kill my stream. Wait till the stream's over. I got to pin it. Hang on. Oh no, where's my chat? I'm like really not good at this. You'd think after doing this a couple times I'd be better, but I'm really not. All right, where'd that go? Oh, dude, I lost it already. Oh, there it is. I found it. Replace pin message. There you go. It's pinned. So, yeah, macro keys. I'm 50, dude. So there's more than Danny. We just slapped Danny on all stuff, but you keep scrolling because there's Linda Day George. There's some barf bag stuff. You just whatever you want. It's really for you guys. Like I know people have wanted it, and we tried to get it going, and so there it is. So yeah, if you like it and you want to get some, grab some. If you don't, that's okay too. but it's there. It's there for whenever you want to get it. Like, you don't have to buy it today. We're not there. I think they go up to Michael. I think they go up to 4XL. Like, I checked because I know, being a big guy myself, that that we, we don't always get a shirt that fits us. And so I was like adamant that we had to find somewhere that went up to at least like 4XL. I think they might go up to 5 actually. So the Christ I'm Old shirt is tough. I'll tell you why it's tough, because the issue with that is, like, you can do Christ I'm Old, but the joke only works with the first half of the joke, and I don't know what the first half of the joke on merchandise is. Like, yeah. Frank, I'm sure it probably is. So you should probably buy Linda Day George if you want her before I get sued. Yeah. So Todd, yeah, we'll make more. Yeah, like, we just were like really trying, like, so here's how this all happened. Um, Atlanta Comic Con, the company that's putting that on came to me and said, "Hey, we'd like you to come to Atlanta Comic Con and a few of our other events this year. Are you interested?" I'm like, "Sure, sounds great." And so I'm like thinking, well, this just means I'm going to go there and I'm going to hang out and maybe I'll do a panel, and that's great, right? And that was all I really was like. I want a tea with your dog Odin on it. I'll have to ask him. He might be amenable to that. But so he came to me and he's like, "Well, we're gonna give you a table, so you should have some merch to sell." And I'm like, "Oh my god, dude, I don't have merch." Like, did you not watch my channel? This is like the bane of my existence. People have been asking for merch for 4 years, and I have never gotten it. And so that's why we went out and got someone to do the Hell Yeah shirt. And the funny thing about the Hell Yeah shirt was, like, we didn't do that design because I'm not a graphic designer. And so we went out and we went to one of those sites where it wasn't Fiverr, it was a different one where you can commission people to make designs. And like, so we put it out there. We're like, this is the guy, this is Hell Yeah, this is what we want. And so that all these people can make a design to try to get the bid, right? Try to win the bid. And we committed to paying for one. Like, you could commit to not paying if you didn't like any of them. But we're like, no, let's go out and get one. We'll definitely buy one. And did he photobomb me? But we'll definitely do one. And that way more people will be interested, because, like, somebody's going to buy it. Hey, Gory Bits, how you been, man? And so we got, and like the first ones that came back were sort of not right. And so, like the one though, I wish we had bought the one, because, like, it must have been somebody in a country that didn't speak English, because it came back. It did not have Danny. It had some totally different guy. And the text was like, "Hell Guy. Yeah." And I'm like, we should just buy that one and sell it, just because it's hilarious, because it's wrong. Rakim is 1A, Kane is 1B. So, sorry, DJ Swags asked me an important hip hop question. I could not answer that. Yeah, 1A, 1B. So yeah, so we got all these designs, and it was like, yeah, it was like Hell Guy, yeah, and it was so hilarious. And like, some of them were just not great, and some of them were okay. And then the two I let you vote on were the two best. And so. And we really liked I liked both of them, but I really liked the one we picked. So yeah, so it ended up, we did that, and then it's like, well, shit, if we've done this, we might as well just do it all, right? Hey, Heather's chubby hubby, hope you've been well. Thank you. Yeah, Hell Guy, yeah, dude. I wish I had it. Like, I don't know if we can still get it. It was cool, but it was totally wrong, but it was cool. And how wrong it was cool. And it just fit with the show, because it was just like, the show makes fun of things that are wrong. And so it just fit. Hey, thanks, Chris. I'm glad you like it. So yeah, so we got the Hell Yeah one, and then the rest of the stuff we just made. Like, it's surprisingly not as hard as I thought it was to make designs. And so, are you leaving, JC? If you are, good night. Thanks for coming. Sell a beard replica. I don't even know how I'd make that. But yeah, so we were just trying to put this stuff up, to get it to fill up a store. And so like the things we just try to prioritize, and the everything was like, well, I know people want Hell Yeah Danny, and I'm like, I know we can do something with Linda Day George and Bastard. And then we just kind of filled it in. But like the stuff like Christ I'm Old, I couldn't figure out how to make it work, like I said, because that's like the punchline to a joke. And if you don't have the setup, I don't know if it works as a slogan on a shirt or not. I don't know. But oh, thanks, Jack. I appreciate that. Um, but but like continuity is hard, and I'd like to do It Stinks, and I don't know if we can do Lance Henriksen. He'd probably sue me. So, but yeah. So we just wanted to get some stuff up there, and there's more, obviously more catchphrases. I'm getting tired. Football practice, yes. Yeah. So we want to get all of those up there at some point, but right now it was just, hey, Feo, take it easy, man. I didn't know you were here. I'm sorry. I did see your necromantic thing, but I didn't know you were still here. Good to see you, brother. That's the man who was instrumental in helping me get my start. So I wrote for his website way back in the beginning. But yeah, meanwhile, on another, yeah, like that's the funny thing about the show. It has so many goddamn catchphrases that I can't even make them all. But yeah, Lance needs to make his house. And look, I'm not opposed to helping him do that. I love the guy. Yeah. So, but yeah, so we got that. Oh yeah, the Universal will sue the shit out of me over that, Keith. But Mark, I don't know that he would. He's a very nice man, but yeah, I suspect he would. I would probably get a cease and desist letter. So yeah, so we just, we will make some more. I just wanted to get some stuff up there. Oh, thank you, Robbie Park Runner. I don't think I'm the funniest guy, and I try. But yeah, so we just wanted to get stuff up there so that people could get it if you want it. And if not, that's okay too. But if like if you have ideas or things you want to see, we're absolutely open to, hearing them and trying to make that too. So they're all options, but we just wanted to get it started at least finally. So catch fries are delicious, Kim Dog. At any time, Barrett. So yeah, he made Hell World. I'd be afraid of him, right? Oh, yeah, I'm glad I could help you find movies you didn't know. So yes, Lance was an awesome vampire. And Arturo, yes, Paid in Full is like one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. Stan, the Alaskan. Dude, how have you been? I haven't seen you in ages. Good, glad you made it. But yeah, Pimp Hand, yeah. So yeah, we've got all these things. Christ, yeah, it would be a ninja. Like, I'm not opposed to doing it. Like, we're just like, the Comic-Con came up so fast, and it was like such short notice that we just had to get something so that I could take it to this show. So like, if you're coming to the show, you can buy one at the show direct from me and get a picture with me or whatever you want. But yeah, a shirt with Mike on. I don't know that we're putting me on shirts, but yeah. But yeah, so we we just tried to get it out there. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place with this. Yeah, but that was it. So I hope you guys like them. I hope and if you, like I said, if you want some more, great, but we'll make them happen. But those are there for now. And if you want one, they're there. That's my sale. This is why I'm not a salesman. Yeah, let's go to the gore card. Yep, another good one. Yeah, they're like this show has so many catchphrases. Like I'm a goddamn catchphrase machine. A Thrill Me T-shirt. Yeah, I don't know if I get away with that one, Derek. Maybe, depends. But oh, there's a Hell Yeah Not Like That You Perv shirt, Steven. It's there's one that has the Not Like That You Pervs on the back. So we didn't want to put it on the front because it made it kind of crowded.
Oh, I'll have to check that, Bob. I'll check which one it is. Some of them, like that site is weird. Like we would put things up and sometimes it wouldn't load them. And yeah, I'll check that one. And like I said, if you order one and there's a problem, you can return them. Hey, Linda, good night. So, yeah, there's your big announcements. I'm going to be at Comic-Con. I'm selling you shirts. Yeah, Edward Mannix. So it's funny. Like, I wanted to do a Ted Russoff, Edward Mannix thing, but I just haven't figured out what that is yet because that's like a deep cut joke for people who watch this show. I'll meet you over there. Yeah. So yeah, so this was the thing. Like, I don't know shit about merch, right? I know nothing about this. Like, I'm totally just trying to make this work. Hey, movie detective, greetings from Florida. We're just trying to make this like the simplest way to get it up, and so that it doesn't like I don't want to spend my life making it here where I have to ship them all and stuff because then I'm never going to make videos, and that defeats the whole purpose. Robert Online, yeah, he didn't direct it. He was in it though. Intruder, that's the one. Uh, but yeah, so we're like learning this as we go, and so we went with this place because they would handle it, and but it's a test, and you can get them, and maybe we'll do something else or more or whatever. But it's very much we just wanted to put this out there, and so if you like it, great. Splatter that matters, yeah. Name a movie I won't revisit. Well, what? Because I hated it? Halloween 3. I'm actually going to watch Halloween 3 again someday. I'll watch it on streams. People can laugh. Hi, Lee. Thanks, Tommy. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, that's what I got. So the big announcements, Comic-Con, merch store, and new shows. New shows, you will see deep cuts before too much longer. And then, yes, please hit the like button. You will see that one before too much longer because we've got multiple of them scripted. I just have to record them and then Jay has to edit them. And we're trying to do that like with Sick Flicks now, where we're like 5 or 6 ahead before I start releasing them. Yeah, Atlanta Comic-Con is only 12 days away. Yes. Trust me, I'm freaking out. Merchandising. Yeah, merchandising where the real money from the movie is made and where every YouTuber gets in over their head. So, yeah. It's funny because like one of the things when, like I said, I didn't know what I'm doing with merch. So, but one of the things I was like, is like, nobody wants to buy merch most of the time that's advertising someone else. So I was not like big on like, we should put a bunch of Sick Flicks branding on there and shit, because like, I'd rather just give you the things you like, and everybody likes Danny and everybody likes Linda Day George and the catchphrases. So was kind of the design philosophy behind this stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. We did it for you. Print your beard from the collar down with budget mic bracket. Oh shit, we might do that. Yeah, exactly. We're not musicians, we're merch salesmen. I don't want to be a merch salesman. So that was it. We just had to find a way to just like get the designs in there and let someone else handle the other end of it. So the Sick Flicks logo is cool. So we did do that. So, like if somebody wants it, but I fully suspect that Linda Day George and Danny will outsell everyone. So I have no illusions. Amy, yes, I did Evil Speak. That was like 2 years ago. That was a pretty good video. Oh, that was pretty funny. You're the establishing shots police. Yeah, we need like a house establishing shot shirt with like a big house on it. Ghost Story and The Changeling were 2 super creepy movies. Yes, absolutely, Tommy. Thank you for the super chat. I agree. The Changeling is funny. I think that's the one that Paul Solomoff beat me on Beat the Geeks in the final round over. Like, I think it was that one. We got to the final round and I was beating him and I just needed a 2-point question to win. And so it's slam dunk for me, right? And he needs a 3 to win, which is a hard question and not not going to be a slam dunk. And he gets a question and it's about the changeling and I'm like thinking and I knew it and I'm sitting there and I'm like giddy inside because I'm like I'm going to beat him on the next question for me because he does there's no way he knows this. And sure as shit he's laughing cuz he's like I just saw this yesterday. And he got it and beat me. So yeah, we do need an exposition shirt too. See, this is good. I should have just come to you guys right out of the gate and said, what phrases do we need? Because you guys are on it. Road March, thank you. That's like I say, it's always the highest compliment when somebody who doesn't like these movies still watches the show because they like me. I'm flattered by that. I have a hard time wrapping my head around it, but it's very flattering. Oh, most disturbing birthing scene. I think it's the fly. I think it's the fly. Mother might be it though. I don't know. I'm leaning the fly. Yeah, Linda Day George. Yeah, we need football practice, Ethan. I know we got to get it. How much time? Oh, dude, I'm glad you asked, Edwin. How much time does it take to script a 20-minute video? Well, let me tell you, it takes about 12 to 20 hours. So, yes, continuity is hard is coming. I will do that one for sure. House establishing shot glass. I don't know if they have shot glasses. That's a good ProTube hates boobs. Free. Yeah. Yeah, Edwin. The videos they take. It really depends. Like some weeks, some movies are easier than others. So like some days the jokes just come to me, but they literally take. I just, like I said earlier, I finished Mosquito today and, it was like I think that one took about 12 hours. Every once in a while, I get under 12 hours, but a lot of times they're, 14, 18 because I don't do anything like a lot of people would do it where they watch it and they do a pass and then they watch it again and do another pass. I only do one pass. Like I go through the movie one time. So it's a lot slower process because I will just stop and have to like look at a scene and I'm looking at everything in the background, trying to see if there's a J&B bottle hidden back there or, like some weird picture on the wall or something. So, yeah. The Fulci films do sometimes, right? Themselves. It's always weird too. Like sometimes the ones I think would be the easiest are not. I'm trying to think of one that I thought would be simple that ended up not being simple. There have been a couple that were Street Trash. Street Trash was like, I thought, oh, I love this movie and it's funny and it's over the top and this will be so easy. And I literally made it. I started scripting that one and I spent like 7 hours on it and I got about 20 minutes into it. And, I ended up like, scrapping it. Cause I'm like, I can't make this funny. It's not working. And it took me like a year until I came back to it. And, Fulci's films are never easy on the eyes. That's a good one, Gory. I like that. But, yeah, MST3K, those, yeah. So this is like crazy. They have a writer's room. They go through the movies multiple times. I've always heard the story that like, if the joke didn't get a laugh on every pass and, like it was out and, like for me, it's just me. So yeah, but and then sometimes ones that I think will be hard or easy. But the hardest part of writing them for me is with the one pass thing is, you basically go through. And so you're only doing it once. So you got to get it right the first time. And, so what happens is a lot of times I will start the movie and if I'm not seeing a bunch of stuff in like the first 10 minutes, I start freaking out because it's like, oh my God, this isn't going to be enough. Like there's not going to be enough here. And so a lot of times the scripts are very front loaded with jokes because I'm like trying to like get everything in there in case there's nothing in the second half. Because if you get to the second half and you don't have anything and you didn't have anything in the first half, you've just wasted like 8 hours of your life for a thing that's never going to get made. And, so yeah, that's really the hard part for me is like trying to figure out like how do I balance it and get it all in one pass. So yes, Wade, I have seen The Sadness. Would love to have done it. No chance. No chance. There's no way I could show enough of that to get to get it passed without getting demonetized or age gated or all right. Thorn, which movies have I canned? Oh, yeah, so nothing is ever officially canned necessarily because like I said, Street Trash sat for a year before I went back to it. Uh but the one I canned recently that I may go back to, I don't know, was The Editor. Like I like that movie a lot and I thought it would be really easy to do. And then when I got into it, I was like, this is not working. David, have I ever rage quit? Let me tell you, Jay gets to see all the interest. Yeah, I'm sure he got demonetized over that. Spooky. Have I ever rage quit? I've never rage quit in the middle, but Jay sees all the stuff that goes on. And let me tell you, there was this week I filmed like 3 things and I came in here and I turned everything on and we got into the middle of it and like the camera overheated, the teleprompter stopped working, the Wi-Fi on the laptop that feeds the teleprompter stopped working, and so I was pissed. I was like cursing and just pissed, and so I got it all running again, and the camera, like I got the camera running. Jay's hearing me complain, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna like trash this whole studio, and then it did it all again. Like the teleprompter and the Wi-Fi quit again. And I'm like, dude, you're absolutely going to see me smash things on this set. So, but that's as close as it's come. Like I generally, like I come in here and I expect shit not to work because it just never works. But, that's just how this stuff goes. Like no matter what you do, it gets stuck. It like breaks down. It stops working randomly. So, yeah, Agnetha. Yeah, you wouldn't get away with that. So the way YouTube works now is they AI scan everything on like upload and so you're not sliding anything past. Now we do have the system now works where you get to self grade your shit to make oh, hang on. I'm sorry. I'm reading that question. So you get to self qualify your things, and like they will still go through and scan it. But like if you're generally accurate on your ratings, they will let you go through, and then they will scan it later. And if you're not, they'll change it. But if they demonetize a video, in answer to Mr. B Green's question, uh, demonetization is for always for one video unless they just demonetize your channel. They can absolutely kick you out of the program, so then you're making nothing, and that does happen. uh Apple Poisoner, thank you. Glad you had a good time. Thanks for coming by. They will demonetize you for one video, but so but that's a bad thing. Like, so if I make one video a week and that video makes no money, I've had to pay for equipment. I have to pay for the movie. I have to pay my editor for Jay for editing. If that video makes no money, all that money comes out of my pocket. And like, I'm not running a charity. So like, I like making videos and I like doing this, but if it's not been cheap. So, yeah, so they have to make money. That's just reality. Like I can't have videos that don't make money. Um, like if they get age gated, it's even worse because if they age gate them, then they don't even get views because you can only find them, that, that are, they will only, you can only find them on the site if you're logged in, if you search, like they won't put them on the homepage. You can't embed them on another site. You can't do any of that. So, like, yeah, it's a business. So Brad, will I ever get a video of my collection is not as epic as it used to be. I've told this story before, but like I lived in California and I had an epic collection. Like I had so much VHS, so many of these things, DVDs, Blu-rays, all this shit. And then we moved back. I moved back to Florida, and it was just too much. I'm like, I'm getting rid. I killed the collection. First, my basement flooded and it destroyed a bunch of VHS. Um, and then when I was moving back, I was like, I just don't want to move all these crazy boxes and boxes and boxes of movies. So I downsized dramatically, and so it's growing again because I'm back to buying all this stuff for the show. But yeah, VHS doesn't last. It gets shitty. But so yeah, so it's not anything like it used to be. Now my video game collection is absolutely epic and massive. That's like 2,000 games at this point, and I own a shit ton of books. But the movie collection is, it's all disc now, and it's like I don't know, it's probably like 400 or 500. That's it. Yeah, see, like I had a ton of Asian live action stuff, and I just had tons of stuff, man. We had thousands and thousands of movies, and it's just all gone. So, and honestly, I don't miss it most of the time. Like it was a pain in the ass to move it all, and it's a pain in the ass to store it all. And so now, now I'm slowly rebuilding it with all these discs, but yeah, I don't think it'll ever be like it was, and that's probably okay. I need to have less things in my life, as they keep telling me. So, what video game am I playing now? I'm not actually playing anything. I I was playing God of War, and then I got busy, and so I quit, and I haven't been back to it. And then I was like, I played some Fantasy Star Online the other day because I like that game and it's ancient, but I love to go back and just because it's mindless and go back and collect loot. But yeah, I'm not playing anything right now. Dead Space remake, yeah, I will definitely play. John, my top deadlift is like 565. We're getting a 600 this year, I swear. 600 are dead. Oh, yeah. I love all the Fantasy Star games, but online was really, that was my jam because it was just like a console Diablo lootathon, and I'm a big sucker for lootathons. So, yeah, 565 is pretty good. Yeah, my squat is, I think I pulled 575, but it was like a strongman with the tires, so it's easier because it's higher. Uh, but yeah, I squat about 565 when I'm healthy, which I'm not right now. Working back up there. Rob, hey, glad you're here. Um, but yeah, yeah. So I'm fighting time here, Robbie Park. I would love to get like 700, but I'm 50. I don't know that how I'm gonna get there. So at this point, 650 would be a win. But and I think this year, I think we're gonna get 600 this year for sure and beyond. So, but we'll see. It's all a matter of, like, at this point, it's a matter of, can I stay healthy and can I recover? And the recovery part is the hard part. Yeah, see, I'm old. 565 is all I got. Right. Father Time is undefeated. So, I mean, yeah, like, so it's funny, Robbie, I was talking about this today. I saw there was a video going around of a guy who set the Masters record at 67 and he pulled 672. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm 50 and I can't pull 672. So I've got my work cut out for me. And it's like, but to even be 50 and pull almost 600 is pretty rare. Like, you don't find a lot of guys my age pulling mid 500s still. And I'm a conventional puller. I'm not sumo, so I don't even get the little break for sumo with, a little less pull. I got long arms and short legs, so I'm a conventional puller. Have I ever thought of doing it? No, but I think about doing Jim the Anvil Neidhart all the time. Actually, so honestly, every year I talk about like I'm gonna cut like for Halloween so I can be Kratos, but I'm always too fat. Sumo doesn't count. That's what I say all the time when I get in trouble. You want to piss someone off, find a sumo deadlifter and tell him he's cheating. Yeah. So Derek, yeah, we had this conversation when I was on Chet's show. Like, like nobody, a lot of people don't think about this, but like you have to be a little bit crazy to do this because like you walk out a 500-pound squat of even a 450. Like if you go down wrong and get that thing twisted, it can kill you. Like you're like literally walking out with weight that can break you. Like it can cripple you. So, yeah, it's a funny sport, but I love it. It's like my favorite thing. Although I will say I trained like Bulgarian and conjugate for a long time. So it was all heavy lifts, low reps, high weight, 90% plus. And so to come now to where I'm doing like this block is a lot of power building. So there's a lot of hypertrophy work in there. And like, I hate anything that's like 8 reps. Like if you told me you can squat 250 for 8, or we'll let you squat 575 for 1, I'm taking the 575 for 1 every time. Like there is nothing worse than hearing you have to squat 8. It doesn't matter how much weight it is or how little, it just sucks. Michael McGinn, I will post it in, I will start posting it in the videos. So you'll be able to get it there too. Manny, thanks for coming. Have a good night. So which favorite video would you donate to a museum for preservation? Oh my God. I don't know. I want to say it's Cruel Jaws or Phantasm. I'm not sure though. That's a good question. That's right. I need some trembolone sandwiches. That's it. I'm 50 and I'm natural. Like I'm fat. I'm not even, no one is even like someone a couple of years ago was like, oh dude, you're a roid monster. And I'm like, dude, have you looked at me? I'm not a roid monster. If I am, I'm doing it way wrong. So like I'm doing it worse than Liver King. So, oh God. Yeah. Hellraiser Jesus Christ jump scare was a good one. Yeah. Football practice search. I will make that happen. Oh goodness. All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap up here. Thank you all for hanging out with me. It's always good to see you all. We'll say as always, and any plans to do the other Phantasm movies? I don't think so. I mean, eventually, but not in the near future. So yeah, it's just because you were on steroids. It's funny because I'm a fat power lifter, but like power lifters are getting leaner, and I've lost like 20 pounds, so I'm getting there, but I got like another 30 to go. So yeah, just do creatine, man. Creatine's the key to everything. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. But yes, I appreciate you guys. I say this every time, but it never changes. This show would not exist without you guys. Like we would not be where we are, and I am incredibly touched and grateful that you guys come out every week and watch the videos, that you comment, that you like, that you subscribe, and that you come to these live events and hang out with me. I just like to come on here and BS for a couple hours and ramble all over the place. And you even put up with that. And someone asked if I built the podium. I'm sorry, I missed that and I forgot to answer it. Yes, we did build the podium. So jacked and pale and raising hate. That's pretty much it. I'm only slightly jacked, not jacked enough. So, yes, well, Andrew, yeah, like I would hope. Like, like I was on TV, I was on radio, I was on all this shit, but like nothing prepares you. Like I hadn't been on for a long time. So I come in here and like, you're doing YouTube and it's like, it's really weird to be in a room and talk to yourself. Like you're talking to a camera and you just have to pretend that you're like somebody's there, but it's like really weird. So it took a long time to to get that worked out. No, Matthias, I don't even own pants, man. I live in Florida. Hey, Road March, thank you. And I hope if you see me in Atlanta, come say hi, man. So Arturo, yeah, I have Odin was in here earlier. So Odin is funny because he's afraid of the horror geek voice. Like when I do the video voice where I really try to affect it, he's like he thinks I'm yelling at him. So him being in here while I'm talking freaks him out. So he takes off. But yeah, thank you all again. New York Horror Con is a maybe. Like I said, I've got a lot of stuff on the potential list, and I'll keep you posted. But check out the merch, please. I hope you like it. I hope nothing is wrong if you order it. They have not sent me samples, so we just put it up there, but they're reputable to deal with. So if you have a problem, they'll take it back. But thanks again, and have a good night. I'll see you all soon.